No reason is required. Simply request your special ballot online, by phone, or from your local returning office. Just remember, completed ballots must be mailed to Elections Alberta and received by 5 p.m. on October 16th. So why wait? Find everything you need to get started at specialballot.elections.ab.ca. Be referendum ready. A message from Elections Alberta.
Big guests, bigger takes. Jason Gregor brings the names you know and the stories you don't. Weekdays, 2 to 6 on Sports 1440. Don't miss a minute of the action on Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique family-owned independent liquor store. The selection? Incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Missioner Island Auctioneering's Calgary, Edmonton, Winnipeg Public Unreserved Equipment Auction is next Friday at 9 a.m. featuring articulated dump trucks, backhoes, dozer, excavators, forklifts, graders, loaders, man lifts, packers, skid steers, telehandlers, turf mowers, plus commercial trailers. Info at maauctions.com.
The Jason Gregor Show.
Whoa, here is a blast to left field. Hammered here by Kasuma Okamoto, and the Blue Jays take the lead.
On Sports 1440.
Take it to a new level. That's bangs one in the air to deep left field. This ball is gone.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Just after 2 o'clock, thank you for joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, Mackenzie McLennan with you here from the Sports 1440 studios in West Edmonton Mall, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Of course, today, the Daily Grand. Tomorrow, you've got the $55 million Lotto Max plus 4 Max Millions. Check it out, PlayAlberta.ca. And also, head over to the sports area. Check out the Gregor Show specials. Boosted as usual. We'll give you a rundown of those later on in the program. Thank you again for hopping on the show. 1-833-401-1440 is the number. If you'd like to give us a call, give us a text, whatever it might be, we can do that. You can also email me at connor@sports1440.ca. And it's going to be a very busy show today as we roll through Thursday, August 20th. We're going to kick things off with some NFL and college football talk. Dalton Wasserman will be by from Preferred Walk-On, one of the hosts of that podcast. We'll also do Thirsty Thursday with David Owens or Stephen Bazan. It's kind of a surprise at this point who rolls into the studio and what they'll bring, but we'll have some beverages, see how those go down. Honest feedback, as always, from the fine folks at Sherbrooke Liquor. We're going to do something a little bit different. In my 18, 19 years working in sports radio, never had a chance to talk to a member of the Edmonton Elks / Eskimos cheer team. So Sydney and Megan are going to come in studio for a little bit. We'll just talk about kind of their story, what goes on behind the scenes. You see them at game days, you see them at events, but what's it like for them? Then we'll go in the room. We'll hear some practice or some quotes from practice earlier today down at Commonwealth. Colin Livingston will join us for the Cantork Race Report. Some news coming out. F1 set to get going again around the NHL today. Kind of will be down in the AHL as we'll be joined by Ryan Holt, the voice of the Bakersfield Condors. A lot of questions about Mr. Ike Howard. What can we expect this season Can he fit into top 6 role? Well, we saw him a little bit. You guys saw him a little bit, but Ryan saw him a little bit more. So we'll talk about what he expects. Also, Josh Szymanski, we'll see you between the pipes down in Bakersfield. Get a little bit of an update there as they'll be getting going before you know it. Mark Spector will be by. Derek Taylor will join us. The voice of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. And we'll get to the stats of the day. We got Cam Tate. We've got the oil report. So much to get to here on the show. It will be a lot of fun. But again, 1-833-401-1440. That is a text line if you'd like to get in on that. We will give away some tickets as well. So, Declan, how should we do this? I had an idea. I had a dream. You know the theme for this game tomorrow night? Country night.
Tighter than Brandon Douglas's jeans, according to the liner.
That is an apt way to discuss it. Guy does like a nice tight pair of jeans. So, I'm going to transition from country. Is it fair to say country is kind of Western? Would that be okay?
Oh, definitely.
So my question, and this is for 2 tickets to the Elks game on Friday night. Top Western movie of all time. I could have gone country recording artist. We might do that tomorrow for the pair of tickets. But today, your top Western movie. 1-833-401-1440. Lance says, my old high school teacher was the coach for the Elks Eskimos. She was our high school cheer coach, won all the championships. Out at Vic, Miss Diane Greeno, I do believe. That's my guess. I think that's the correct answer. But Lance, let us know for sure. Wyatt Earp, the first one to come in from Bird. Keep them rolling in. Got to be Young Guns. The Unforgiven. I'm sure we're going to get some good ones. And selfishly, I'll have to add them to my list because I do like a good Western. Declan, we saw the depth chart come out for the Edmonton Elks earlier today. I don't know if there was any major surprises, but we did see a little bit of a swap, correct, with the Sam linebacker position?
Same depth chart as last week, actually.
Okay, it's the same.
Yeah, Kenny Logan out again. KJ, second straight game at Sam. Teresa Reed, second straight game at defensive half. Playing the boundary side.
Excellent. I'm looking forward to this game. It's going to be a fun one. We did talk to, obviously, Nick Anderson yesterday, middle linebacker for the Green and Gold, and kind of just talked about how, you do get amped up to take on a guy like Brady Oliveira, who's done it in the CFL for as long as he has. The Bombers are a good football team. Some might say they're on the decline, but that's still a good group there. And we know, when the going gets tough, this is a team that's going to raise their game. Zach Claros on the season, getting him back out there, big. Nick Dembski, we know can be a problem. He has been for a long time. So it'll be a fun one. Brady Oliveira this season averaging 6 yards per carry. And you gotta bring the helmets. It can't be one. It's got to be 2, 3. And I think that's what this team has done a really good job of all season long. You're not just basing like, okay, well, one guy's going to bring him down. They do a really good job of flocking to the football and sometimes trying to rip it out. So that's good as well. A lot of text already rolling in here. The Good, the Bad, the Ugly has to be one of the most popular ones. And people saying by far. Deck, have you seen The Good, the Bad, the Ugly? I know you're a bit of a cinephile.
I do consider myself a cinephile.
But
I don't think I've ever seen it all the way through. I've been meaning to get around. Like I've seen bits and pieces on it on like AMC, if you remember that channel, on like a random Saturday or Sunday with your dad. I don't think I've ever seen it start to finish, or not in any way I remember. I know it's one of the better ones out there from the Fistful of Dollars trilogy, I believe.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, but never actually seen it all the way through.
Now, I do recall that the scene in the graveyard is like 6 minutes long and it's just music, and then they're like shots of them walking around aimlessly. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe that is the scene. And I'm watching it because we did our 1260 movie watch way back when COVID was happening. I watched a movie every week of the year and did a review, and that scene just stood out to me. It was kind of funny because it could have been a 30-second scene. And those of you who may not know, I always prefer my movies to be shorter. So I was like, we could have cut that one down just a little bit, but I suppose it did build up the tension. Anywho, Tombstone, Django from Triple C in a Truck. Sam says Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Roadhammer's got Blazing Saddles. Unforgiven, Tombstone. Those are the popular ones. Hey, we'll put together a little bit of a list here, but it should. This is a good one, I think. Maybe, and like I said, maybe tomorrow we'll get to the country music as well, because that's something I have no knowledge in, and I probably don't really care. But it's a good way to give away tickets because everyone will have an opinion. If you are looking at the LPGA in town today, the CPKC Women's Open Leaderboard, right now, Japan having a very strong showing. Yamashita and Hatakoa above the leaderboard right now, 8 under par, 7 under par. Canadian amateur Michelle Zing currently 5 under, tied with a handful of players. Anna Huang is 5 under as well. Canadian, not an amateur status there. If you are going down, I'm envious. So what a nice way to spend your Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday afternoons. I know the Duke's been down there. He's had to exchange the tight denim for a pair of golf slacks instead. If you've watched the Tom Gazzola show, you've seen those shirts. I'm starting to think he just likes dressing in golf attire. But a really good event going on in our city if you want to head down there. And then we've also got the BMW Championship. So for this one, we know it was the top 50 from the previous event. It drops down. Gary Woodland right now, 6 under par. You've got a handful of players right now, 4 under. So no Canadians, unfortunately. All the top Canadians outside the top 50 rankings. Close, I believe 56, 58, but not quite where they need to be. You can watch that one all weekend as well. We are going to talk some college football here with Dalton Wasserman. Declan, I know you're fired up about that one. NFL and college. What team has you the most maybe fired up here, most intrigued going into the season?
Am I allowed to take the easiest fan answer ever and say Oregon? Is that too boring? Do I have to switch it up?
Would you say that Oregon the last few years might have some unfinished business?
Connor, I'll give you a stat about Oregon. Ready for this one?
Yeah.
You just opened a can of worms, my friend. You don't even know what you did.
Go.
In the last 3 years, Oregon, against teams that did not play in the national championship, are 37-0. Against teams that did play in the national championship, they are 1-5. So the last 3 years, they have been the definition of close but no cigar. And this year, I think it needs to finally all come together. And I think they need to win it. That's kind of harsh to say because there's 160 teams. Granted, there's only like 10 that could actually win it. But they at minimum need to be in the national championship game.
Dante Moore came back for a reason, right?
He did.
You have to think that for a long time, their claim to fame was the uniforms. They've been a very good football team, and they seem to always have electric players, those Ducks. Now, Justin Herbert, yeah, the epitome of electric. He wasn't actually who came to mind for me, but he did get them to a Rose Bowl.
Were you thinking of Michael James?
That was the one for me. Man, he was unbelievable. Niners drafted him, I believe. Didn't quite have the impact. And those Chip Kelly offenses at Oregon were just incredible to watch. Kept you on your toes in the old Pac-12. Now Big Ten, I believe, right? For the Ducks. Mm-hmm. Tough football. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I cannot wait till we get to the point where the weather gets a little bit cooler. You know, the leaves start to turn and we can just hunker down on Saturdays and watch football. For me, it's tougher and tougher to do. But when the little guy goes for a nap, oh yeah, I'm throwing it on deck. Probably a case of Bud Light Apple or whatever they're called, and
it's
just sitting down and living the dream.
You live inside my head, Connor.
I think you've tweeted it or you've told us about it a few times. Like that's the dream for you. It's going to be good.
I'm a simple man.
We got NFL football tonight as well. Also, some news for those of you who are fans of the NHL. I'm sure you saw it, that the NHL announcing that the Edmonton Oilers taking part in the first ever regular season games in Cologne, Germany, the home of Leon Draisaitl. The Boston Bruins going to be playing in Munich as well. There is a relation there for JJ Peterka also. So cool for the NHL. I mean, the topic on this station a lot of the time recently has been international expansion. I don't like it for any league. The NFL said it's going to happen. We don't need to go across the ocean. I think we could just say Mexico City. That would be my top pick. Keep it as simple as possible if we have to do it. The NHL hasn't said anything about it, but clearly is trying to play these international games and expand it. Now, this is not this year. It'll be the following year. So I'm into it. I think it's really cool. I think for Oilers fans, maybe you want to take that trip to Germany, see what it's all about, mix in some hockey while you're there. And for Leon Draisaitl, I think it's a really cool experience for, the hometown kid to go play in front of his fans professionally with the Oilers for the first time. And I mean, this guy he's living the dream right now. Like, that's awesome. He carried the flag for his nation at the Olympics, which, when it was announced, it seemed obvious to me and maybe a few of you guys out there. But what an honor to walk out with all those great athletes and you being chosen as the one to lead them carrying the flag. That was a really cool moment for him. So yeah, very, very awesome news. And then they also are going to be doing a partnership with Bayern Munich. I don't necessarily understand this. I know that Bayern Munich is a massive, massive brand in the football world, in Germany, in Europe. I suppose, a little cross promotion, never going to hurt for Bayern Munich. Getting some more eyes from North America isn't a bad idea. I know in Edmonton with Alphonso Davies, we follow them along pretty closely, but I like what they're doing. I like that the NHL is trying to do these things, grow the game, but we don't need expansion. Like I said last week on this show, we don't have English Premier Leagues trying to make the jump to North America. You don't see it the other way. Let's just keep it as simple as possible when it comes to that. There's other issues and other ways they can grow without expansion. 1-833-401-1440. A couple more texts here. John says, people are going too new on the Westerns. Shane and the Red River are both better than the Unforgiven, the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. So, John, how old is that one then? Because the Good, the Bad, the Ugly is not new. Shane the Red River. Well, I know about the Red River Shootout. Three Amigos, definitely a fistful of dollars. From Todd, he says, I'll donate the tickets if I win. Good to know. The Man from Snowy River. The Quick, Bad, and Ugly are too underrated. The Quick, the Bad, the Ugly. That sounds almost like a mockumentary type. Have you seen Django?
Love Django. I think isn't it The Quick, Fast, and the Dead? Wasn't that in the Fistful of Dollars trilogy?
I mean, it could have been a typo or something like that.
Django's incredible, man.
The opening scene hooked me.
Oh, and Christoph Waltz.
Yeah.
His run, it was short, but his prime was like, it was like nothing else.
Quick and the Dead. I don't know if people actually like that one, but I feel like I tuned into it after I saw The Gladiator. So Russell Crowe was in it, and that made it cool for me. But I like that one. Young Leo, Gene Hackman, Sharon Stone. That's one I would probably throw out there as well but I'm not eligible. So don't worry about what I think. Keep those texts rolling in here. 1-833-401-1440. Your favorite Western. Chance to win 2 tickets to the Elks and Bombers game tomorrow. Deanocracy. Has anyone seen Back to the Future 3 yet? No. I've seen Back to the Future 1 plenty of times. I've yet to see the third one. Maybe one day I will venture into it. We're going to take a quick break here. We got lots to get to on the show today. In case you missed it, going to the very back of the show, we got Derek Taylor, Winnipeg Blue Bombers, play-by-play voice. Mark Spector, Ryan Holt, the voice of the Condors. Colin Livingston, we'll have the roundtable. We've got a couple members of the Edmonton Elks cheer team, Sydney and Megan, going to drop by Thirsty Thursday with either David Owens or Stephen Bazan. But coming up next, we're talking a little pigskin. College and pro with Dalton Wasserman of the Preferred Walk-On podcast. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Tap into the fun of Play Alberta's most popular casino games. From the fast-paced spins of Cash Eruption to the retro thrills of Sevens Wild, online excitement is always at your fingertips. Spin through your choice of popular slots or discover Alberta-exclusive games you won't find anywhere else. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Everything is going to be okay. If your debt has you feeling like you're in a free fall, you have options. I'm Dan McDicken, a licensed insolvency trustee with Faber. Becoming debt-free is possible, and a personal bankruptcy or consumer proposal will get you there. Schedule your free Faber Focus session at faber.ca today. You'll learn how a consumer proposal allows you to eliminate your debt by paying a percentage of the amount owed without interest. At Faber, we'll tackle your debt.
For all your welding supplies, think AWS Welding. Located in Nisku, their readily stocked storefront carries a wide variety of welding glasses, cylinder rentals, plus welding rod, wire, and consumables. Same-day delivery is always available. And if they don't have it, AWS Welding will find it for you fast. Visit their online store today at awswelding.ca or give them a call or text at 780-979-0470. AWS Welding. They make it happen.
Are you a skilled laborer? All Star Construction wants to talk to you. A heavy equipment operator with Traco or backhoe experience? All-Star Construction wants to talk to you, too. With work in and around Edmonton for local land developers, All-Star Construction offers year-round employment. Whether it's power, gas, or telecom, developers rely on All-Star Construction to get the job done. So if you're a skilled laborer or a heavy equipment operator with Traco or backhoe experience searching for work, search All-Star Construction on Indeed.
Now through Saturday, don't miss the VIP overstock sale at Wolf GMC Buick. They're seriously overstocked with over 400 pieces of inventory on clearance and ready to move. Explore the entire inventory right now. Click on the clearance tab at wolfgmcbuick.com. Plus, employee pricing continues, and during the VIP overstock sale, stop in for even more special incentives. Hurry, it ends Saturday at Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
Tee up for a great day on the course and support the Stony Plain Eagles Senior Men's Hockey Club. It's the Stony Plain Eagles Golf Tournament. Gather your foursome and join the Eagles August 25th at the Links at Spruce Grove for a 2 p.m. shotgun start. Enjoy a fantastic afternoon of golf, great company, and friendly competition, all while supporting the Stony Plain Eagles. Get all the details and register today at stonyplaineagles.com.
The Chicken Parmy Burger, McExtreme Pulled Pork, Garlic and Black Pepper Chicken McNuggets, Cheesy Bacon McFlavor Fries, and the Stroop Waffle McFlurry. You've scrolled them, you've screenshotted them, you've never been able to order them until now. This is the McDonald's World Menu Heist. The most wanted menu items taken from around the world, now in Canada. Get them while you can. For a limited time only at participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
Alberta, we're wild and tough and beautiful. We agree that good enough isn't good enough. And know everything that matters starts with a home and a family. At Lux, our family has been handcrafting windows and doors for this incredible place for over half a century. There's no place we'd rather be. Everything we are is windows and doors. A company born and bred and made in Alberta.
Life doesn't always line up with Election Day. If you'll be away, busy, or just want to skip the line, you can vote by mail with a special ballot. No reason is required. Simply request your special ballot online, by phone, or from your local returning office. Just remember, completed ballots must be mailed to Elections Alberta and received by 5 p.m. on October 16th. So why wait? Find everything you need to get started at specialballot.elections.ab.ca. Be referendum ready. A message from Elections Alberta.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows. Locally manufactured and installed, Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all your residential needs. Call 310-GLASS or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
The Jason Gregor Show with guest host Connor Halley. This is Sports 1440.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
20th edition of the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Tonight, the Daily Grand. Tomorrow, Lotto Max, $55 million up for grabs. Get your tickets at PlayAlberta.ca. And if you're in the sports section, check out the Jason Gregor Show specials. Every day, boosted. Go take a look. It might be worth it. It could pay off. It could happen. Remember, though, use your game sense. Connor Halley, Duncan Cougar, Mackenzie McLennan, and young Connor, the intern here, as well as lots to get to. Now, we asked you guys the question for a chance to win tickets to tomorrow's Elks Bombers game. Since it is country night, we're just saying, what's your favorite Western movie? And they continue to roll in here. It's going to be tough to pick a winner, but keep the text rolling in 1-833-401-1440. Right now, we are going to get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by the Spruce Grove Saints, and who they are looking forward to opening night September 18th in a spectacular 2026-2027 season. Saints Hockey School runs from the 24th to the 28th of August. All ages U9, U11, U13, and U16. Sign up today at sgsaints.ca as we bring in Dalton Wasserman, covers the NFL and college football, the co-host of Preferred Walk-On. College Football Show with another friend of the show, Max Chadwick. Dalton, good afternoon. How are you doing today?
Fantastic, man. College football is only a week away. The NFL's, less than 3 weeks out, so I'm feeling good about ramping up towards the season.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And we appreciate you joining us on this show. We'll start off with some NFL, and then I'm going to let my co-host and producer Declan Kruger jump in because he's an absolute college football fiend, and he's been jonesing for some football talk right here. So let's start off with the NFL. Obviously, lots of storylines going on. The injuries are everywhere. But I want to ask you about Vita Vea signing with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It caught me a little bit off guard because I did think that at some point he would be moved. Obviously, money can solve all the problems in the world. He's going to stay in Tampa for another year, $30 million deal. Did that surprise you? And do you think that has any impact on Baker Mayfield getting his next contract?
No, it didn't necessarily surprise me. I think Vea just sees, what some other guys have signed for lately when you see like Dexter Lawrence and Quinnen Williams out there making huge money in this defensive tackle position. Clearly, it's getting more expensive and it's getting more and more important. I think these teams understand that interior pressure on quarterbacks can cause so many problems, and the teams that can make that happen, those are really the teams that are starting to get deeper into the postseason now. So not that surprised. And honestly, I don't really think it affects Mayfield. Jason Light is very good at kind of maneuvering the salary cap and making everybody fit. And I think what's going to decide Mayfield's fate really is just that team's win and loss record and their ability to make the postseason.
Now, we did see longtime NFLer Keenan Allen yesterday signing with the Indianapolis Colts. Saw him out there number 10 today. Kind of hoping Laquan Treadwell will just give him 13 because it looks weird at 10 in the white and blue. But Keenan Allen has kind of sneakily had a very good career for maybe those who don't follow too closely. The stats were brought up. If he were to record 50 receptions this year, he's going to skyrocket up the reception chart to sixth, just behind Marvin Harrison, Witten, Gonzalez, Fitzgerald, and Jerry Rice. Did you like this move for the Colts to bring him in?
Yeah, I don't mind it. I think when you look at the Colts receiving core, it is kind of thin, right? You've got Alec Pierce, who's hurt right now. You've got Josh Downs, who's had some injury issues in the past. And then you've got Michael Pittman, who departed for Pittsburgh in the offseason. So really behind Pierce and Downs, there wasn't a whole lot to work with. And familiarity is always a big part, too. Allen had played under Shane Steichen in L.A. when they were both there, with Justin Herbert as the quarterback. So I think the familiarity is a big part of it. And I do think there's a chance, even if all are healthy, that he could at least be a productive number 3 receiver for that team.
Dalton, you just touched on the Chargers there and Justin Herbert, who bring in Mike McDaniel over from the Miami Dolphins. You've seen the splash plays on social media, but I always take those with a grain of salt because typically there's no pressure and, a quarterback probably would have gone down when it happens. But what do you think about the possibilities of that offense, even with losing their starting center?
I mean, the possibilities with McDaniel on paper are really endless because he's always been a coach who wants to run the football. He understands how to get the ball to the outside in the run game, and that's something that the Chargers, when they did run the ball well, they got it to the outside last year, right? If they have Amari and Hampton healthy, that can work, and they can take some of the pressure off of Justin Herbert's plate there. But no, I mean, you're right. Losing Tyler Biadasz possibly for the whole season at center, it just brings back the nightmare of their offensive line potentially from last year, right? Joe Alt seems to be healthy, but we're not sure about Rashawn Slater. And then you get worried about the interior group that's going to probably have a rookie starting at center. And then, a set of guards that you don't feel very comfortable about, right? And you really, as any team wants to, you want to protect your franchise quarterback. They didn't do a good job of it last year. And I think there are legitimate questions, especially on the interior, of their ability to do that this year.
We're talking football, pro and collegiate with Dalton Wasserman here on the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley, Declan Kruger with you. One more before we switch over to the collegiate level. But Jaden Higgins, the other big injury yesterday, torn ACL. He's done for the year. We know how good that Texans defense can be, but that division could be tough. The Jags looked very strong last year, finishing very, very well. Do you think they need to go out there and maybe try to make a move if possible?
Yeah, I would expect it. I don't know if it's going to be, say, a Kayshon Boutte from New England. Maybe a Darnell Mooney from the Giants is a name that has been brought up. But I think definitely the Texans need to find some depth here behind Nico Collins, right? Tank Dell has had all sorts of unfortunate injury situations, right? You've got Jalen Knoll, who isn't practicing, I believe, right now. You've got Xavier Hutchinson, who's never been a big-time piece, right? So if something were to happen to Nico Collins with their receiving core as currently constructed, I'd be extremely worried about the ability of their passing game, right? And I think you already worry about C.J. Stroud being protected and his issues under pressure that we saw late last year. But now, if you get the receiving core starting to dwindle, kind of dwindle down and lose bodies there beyond Collins, it really gets to be a problem. That's going to be something to watch out for in the next couple of weeks, is who else they pick up.
Dalton, I was looking through your Twitter and I see that you are bullish on UCLA, as am I. I mean, they're kind of going the Indiana route here, not saying they're going to be Indiana, but obviously Bob Chesney comes over. You look at that schedule, they have that early road game at Oregon. After that, USC, Michigan at the end of the season. Like, what do you think is a realistic ceiling for this Bruins team?
My official prediction that we made on Preferred Walk-On, my prediction for them is 7-5, which is obviously a big improvement from last year, but I think they have a lot of talent. I think Bob Chesney is a really, really good coach. I mean, he took a good chunk of the core from a very good James Madison team that made the playoff last year, and he brought him with him. And then you add a more talented quarterback than he had last year in Nico Imaliava. I think there could be a bounce-back year for Nico at quarterback. I think their defense could be really good, especially in the secondary. Wayne Knight is a stud at running back. There's a lot that I think could go right for UCLA this year. And you mentioned the Oregon game, but I'm fascinated with their very first game, I believe, at Cal in week 1. That might be my favorite game of week 1, with two teams that could both break out in 2026.
I had 8 teams that I thought could win the Natty this year. The first 7 were the top 7 in the AP poll, not very exciting. And then I kind of took a flyer on LSU, obviously just because of how much they brought in the transfer portal, Sam Levitt, all of that. Do you think that's a fair assessment? Like, would you add anybody to those 8 teams? Would you take anybody away? Is that kind of where you come out as well?
Yeah, that first 7 is the inner circle, and I'm very, very intrigued with LSU. I think there's some other teams that may be fringe possibilities, right? I think Texas Tech is loaded, and we'll just see what Will Hammond looks like at quarterback. I like Ole Miss, especially, I mean, if they get any of these players back that have now been ruled eligible, after being UDFAs to the NFL, that'll get interesting too, because that's some talented players. Oklahoma, with their defense, it's just a matter of if the offense can catch up. So I think there are some other fringy contenders that if everything went right, they could be capable of it. But I think that top 7 is pretty clearly the 7 contenders. And then you're right, LSU, we got to see it on the field first. But we know Lane Kiffin's capable of putting a dynamic offense out there. It's all going to be about Sam Levitt and his production.
Do you think the Big 12 is going to be a one-bid league again?
I'm 50-50. I mean, we're going to have to get a second team this year from either the Big 12 or the ACC, and it really is one of the more fascinating stories of, okay, it feels like Texas Tech and Miami are borderline locks to win the conference, although you have to get out there and play the games, but I think it's entirely possible they get 2. You look at BYU, you look at a team who's ranked in the preseason like Houston. Maybe there's some other contenders like TCU, or even I think I'm high on Oklahoma State. They have a lot of talent too, but I would say 50-50 between the Big 12 and the ACC. Somebody's got to get a second one. I'm just really intrigued to see who can get enough wins to do that.
I was going to ask about Oklahoma State because obviously they bring over Eric Morris and Drew Mestamaker from North Texas, who were in the playoff conversation last year, didn't quite make it, but firmly in that conversation. Do you think their ceiling is making the Big 12 championship game? Do you just think it's a strong regular season? I think no one's talking about Oklahoma State, and after firing Gundy in the season last year, I completely understand why. But do you think something like that could be their ceiling, or is it a little bit lower? Are you more kind of in that 7-5 range, same way you were with UCLA?
I think it's on the very, very high end, but I think second place in the Big 12 could be their ceiling, right? The amount of offensive talent they have with Drew Mestamaker, with Caleb Hawkins, with Wyatt Young, and then with Eric Morris running the show. He's one of the best offensive coaches in the country. There's no doubt that their offense should be really good. What's going to determine them being, the difference between a 6 and 7 win team and maybe closer to 9 or 10 is their defense, right? There's some pieces that I like, but it's not quite as elite as the offensive side of the ball. If they get themselves in a lot of those 50-50 shootouts, then, they might be closer to just a bowl team. But if their defense can play up to a level that maybe, is even a little bit above their heads, maybe a little bit above average, yeah, I think they can get there. Because I think other than Texas Tech, there's a lot of teams in the Big 12 that have a lot of good things about them, and then they all have an Achilles heel of some sort head-to-head. So I think it's going to be a wild ride, but Oklahoma State has at least the talent to make that happen.
Let me ask you this one. What do you think is more likely this year? A 9-3 SEC team, like LSU or Texas A&M when we're just looking at schedules. A 9-3 LSU or Texas A&M, or a 2-loss Big 12 runner-up getting one of the final at-large spots. Which way would you lean?
I would personally lean towards it, and if you're talking 2-loss, it would still have to be a team that made the title game. If it's 10-2, I don't think it's happening. At 11-2, like BYU, I was just talking to someone about this earlier. BYU should have been much more, at least in the conversation last year at 11-2, considering their 2 losses were both to Texas Tech. I think you'd have to be 11-2, but I would lean that way, obviously to strike the schedule and all sorts of metrics that go that way too. But I would lean that way instead of a 9-3 SEC team, because we've seen it. I mean, even the argument with Texas last year, yes, you were 9-3. Yes, you were very good at the end of the year. They missed the playoffs because they lost to 4-8 Florida, right? These things just happen in college football. That's the madness. That's why we love watching it, but that's just the chaos, and you have to avoid losing those games more than anything.
Yeah, it's the same thing like Ole Miss a couple years ago, right? Like Lane Kiffin on Twitter, and it's like, well, if you don't lose that Kentucky game, man, I'm sure it looks a heck of a lot better for you. Dalton Wasserman, co-host of the Preferred Walk-On College Football Show, joining us. Which quarterback through the transfer portal is going to have a bigger impact for his team? Sam Leavitt at LSU or Josh Hoover with Indiana?
Oh, wow, man, oh man. I'm gonna say Sam Leavitt. And Hoover. I love Hoover. All Hoover has to really go to Indiana and do is be himself and just play within the offense. Mendoza did a great job of that. Curtis Rourke did such a great job of that, right? And Hoover, if he can play up to Mendoza's standard, they can absolutely win the national title again. We'll see where that goes. But Leavitt is one of the biggest X factors, if not the biggest X factor in college football. He's a dynamic athlete. He's got dynamic arm talent. He's in an offense that could get him Heisman caliber numbers, but he's got to rein in some of the wild horse kind of play, right? Last year, he tried to carry Arizona State too much. It was just him and Jordan Tyson improvising too much. If Lane Kiffin can get him to play a little bit more within himself, and he makes him feel like, okay, you don't have to carry this team, but in certain moments, Leavitt can win the Heisman. He really can. I believe he can win the Heisman. They can win the national title. That's where I'm with you on how much talent they have. If he doesn't do that, then you could be set up for a disappointing season. I really believe you could argue Sam Leavitt's the biggest X factor in the entire country.
And then one final one from me, Dalton. I know there's the amendment where if they're in the top 12, it's an auto bid. Does a 10-2 is that good enough for Notre Dame? 10-2 with that schedule?
Oh, I think that's the question of the year, really. Because, I mean, to me...
Because then what, your best win is SMU?
Yeah, I mean, 9 of the 12 games on their schedule, to me, should not be competitive, right? So, I mean, take it for what it's worth. If they dominate, then so be it. Throw it into the metrics. But it would take some real resume stacking with some other teams that are bound to be in that range. But they would be putting themselves in very... very hot water, just like they did last year, losing those first 2 games. And I know they reeled off 10 in a row. Also, there might be a different perception because all 3 of those tougher games, I believe, are all in the second half of the season. You lose 2 of those games in the second half of the season. The committee takes that into account. There's a little bit of a "what have you done for me lately" approach. If they were to lose 2 of their last 6 games to 2 of those teams, then it might even be more likely that they're out than last year. So I think timing is everything there, but they're set up so well to win at least 11 games this season. I think they're clear favorites in 11 of their games. And then the Miami game, they at least get at home too. So if they go 10-2, it would still feel like a disappointment.
Dalton, just one more for me before we let you go here. And I'm obviously a big fan of the NFL. I love the draft process leading up to it. So for those teams who may be looking at a top 5 pick, I'm thinking potentially the Dolphins or the Arizona Cardinals. Who do you think would be the teams to watch and maybe a future quarterback for them?
Oh, I mean, there's so many. I mean, this year's quarterback class, at least, it always feels more stacked in the preseason than it will be eventually. But I think Miami's in that mix. I think the New York Jets are in that mix. The Cardinals. I think a sneaky one is the Atlanta Falcons, right? They're trying to put together a winning outfit with Kevin Stefanski, but with Tua and his injury issues, that's not necessarily a long-term answer. We don't know what Michael Penix is going to look like or how much he's going to play. I think that's another team that you need to look out for, right? So I think there's plenty, right? There's plenty that are always the Minnesota Vikings as well, a good team that's going to need a quarterback. And then I think you just look around the country, just throw some names out there. Dante Moore from Oregon, Arch Manning from Texas, obviously. A guy we talked about earlier, Drew Mestemaker from Oklahoma State, if he has a huge year down there. Sam Leavitt, Lenora Sellers, Julian Sayin from Ohio State. I mean, there's a lot, man. And look, some of them are going to fall off. Some of them, as always, are going to, have a disappointing year like we saw from a Klubnik or an Aller last year. But there's a lot of names, and I do think there's a lot of teams in the NFL that are going to need one.
I would be right there with you. And will they have the patience to develop them? Probably not. Dalton, thanks so much for your time today. Really appreciate it. And enjoy the preseason tonight and the regular season once it all gets going.
Absolutely. Appreciate you guys as always.
There you go. Dalton Wasserman, the co-host of the Preferred Walk-On College Football Show. Great to have him join us. You can check him out on X as well at CFB_Dalton. When we come back, it's Thirsty Thursday. And a lot is going on. It's a bit of a change from the last 2 weeks where I've just seen cans of beer pop out. We got a lot of stuff being rolled out here by David Owen. So we'll get to that in a few minutes here. It is the Jason Gregor Show, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Mr. Rooter cries like a little tiny baby child.
Hey, Mr. Rooter, you've got a package from Mrs. Rooter.
Aw, the card says, "Thank you for our unbreakable bond. You're the Pro Press fitting to my copper pipe."
Ooh, what's in the package, Mr. Rooter?
Let's see. It's a Plumbus 2000 spud wrench. She knew I'd never buy one for myself.
Just like tears. It's flowing or it's free with Mr. Rooter.
I love that woman.
Kickoff is coming August 21st. Elks, Blue Bombers at Play Alberta Field at Commonwealth Stadium. It's country night presented by Innova. Dust off that Canadian tuxedo and bring the hockey talk to the field. Get your tickets at goelks.com/tickets.
1 in 3 Canadians aren't getting enough sleep. Let the Brick help you sleep better for less. Save 40% on the Sealy Crown Jewel Resort mattress. Get cheap starting at just $49. And buy one pillow, get the second one for just $10. Plus, take up to 55 months to pay with no interest and no money down. And with next day delivery in Edmonton, you can start sleeping better right away. Some conditions apply. OAC. See in-store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Car shopping sucks. That's right. Going back and forth 100 times just to get a price. Give me your credit card for a test drive. What's all these extra fees? That sounds ridiculous. At Northgate, we do things a little differently. Good deals on new, pre-owned vehicles, good people, and a great selection. And don't forget about our employee pricing. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
2006, we saw the launch of Twitter. JT was #1 with Sexy Back, and the corner of Jasper Ave and 118th was never the same.
On the Rocks, celebrate 20 years of OTR.
Friday, September 18th.
With Whale and the Wolf. Whale and the Wolf.
20 years of music and memories.
20 years of On the Rocks.
Friday, September 18th. Get in early. Jasper Ave and 118th.
Crispy caramelized edges, a pillowy, airy center. Meet the new Papa John's Pan Pizza. Made with Parmesan and Romano cheeses, Papa John's special garlic sauce, and Italian seasoning, all baked directly into the bottom of the crust for a signature golden finish and crispy, savory crunch. Grab a medium pan pizza for just $16.99 today at your local Papa John's. Order now in the app or at papajohns.ca. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Ford employee pricing is back at Nisku Ford. Pay the same as Ford Motor Company employees. Plus, get the benefits of being a Nisku Ford customer. You'll have the best selection of new Ford vehicles from our great lineup of SUVs, from Bronco Sports and Explorers right up to the Ford Expedition, and Ford trucks from the Ford Maverick, Ranger, F-150, and Super Duty. Ford employee pricing is the biggest event on the Nisku Ford calendar. But hurry, it won't last forever, and inventory is limited. Take advantage of employee pricing today at Nisku Ford. Above expectations.
Stollery Children's Hospital Foundation Mighty Millions Lottery VIP deadline is midnight tomorrow. Get in now for the power play and $75K VIP prize. Imagine taking your seats as the Oilers hit the ice, hearing the roar of the crowd with every goal, every save, every moment all season long. Plus, score $75,000 and be in to win the $2.4 million grand prize show home in Cameron Heights. VIP deadline is midnight tomorrow. Change lives. Win big. Be mighty. Buy now at MightyMillionsLottery.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Emerald Equipment. Emerald Equipment is Edmonton's newest dealer for Yanmar compact equipment. Machines built tough for the jobs that don't quit. Get your new Yanmar compact track loaders with ASV PosiTrack at Emerald Equipment.
The Jason Gregor Show with guest host Connor Halley. This is Sports 1440.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Welcome back. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Today, the Daily Grand. You could win $1,000 a day. It would be incredible. A lot of stress would be gone. Or tomorrow, the $55 million Lotto Max. That would be good too. Check it out, PlayAlberta.ca. Both would work. Connor Halley here, sitting in for Jason, Declan Kruger, Mackenzie McLennan. We got young Connor here as well. And we also have Mr. David Owens from Sherbrooke Liquor. Of course, the two locations, the OG location, think Woodcroft, and then also we've got the newer location, Otwell, The best selection you're going to get, and the smartest people, might I add, as it's another edition of Thirsty Thursday. And like I said, David, last couple weeks here, and Steven's done an amazing job. His knowledge of the beverages he brought in was incredible. It was a lot of can and bottle. This, you've been mixing drinks up here. It's been like cocktail.
Oh yeah, right. Going hard. Yeah, I know he's Steven does an amazing job all the time. I sent him a note after one of the episodes I was listening to while I was on vacation too.
Yeah,
and
welcome back.
I was I'm like, buddy, every time you go on there, I feel like you make me look stupid, right? Like he knows so much about so many things. He does an amazing job with that.
Yeah, he does.
We're super happy to have him.
But you know what? I haven't seen him whip drinks up like this.
All right,
so,
right. Well, this is my job.
Yeah, what's the theme? What are we doing?
Job. Yeah, so the theme is I'm gonna run with this for the next few weeks. We're gonna do weird bottles.
Can I show this one on?
Yeah, you sure. Let me get the cap on there. Be careful, this where it sits on. But yeah, there we go.
I guess this would be fitting for a weird bottle. Yeah.
Yeah,
a
right.
Cool bottle though.
So this is it's a beautiful like very true to form replica of a Maui or a Moai statue, right? From the Easter Island area. So this is in fact Pisco. And this is the brand here. This is Capel, and this is their Pisco Reservado. And Pisco, it is widely contested between the Peruvians and the Chileans on who created Pisco.
It's a little battle there.
Their national drink. We are not going to argue over that today because I don't want to get angry emails or phone calls from anybody. But we're going to try this Chilean Pisco today. And talk about what Pisco is and what kind of fun things you can do with it. So
I love Chilean people. Let's give it a go.
That's right. So this is right off the bat. This is it straight up. So it's probably been a while since we've tasted a spirit here for you. So what I want you to do is I want you to put it in your nose first, give it a good sniff, and when you're sniffing it, open your mouth while you do it. Because when you open your mouth while you do it, you'll actually start to taste it a little bit.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, so you're starting to get this is just straight up, and I'm kind of, I smell this, and I'm getting a little bit of that orchard fruit, a little bit kind of thing. Maybe
it's a little stronger than orchard fruit.
Yeah, a little bit stronger. Yeah, that's right. Maybe a little floral in there.
Yeah,
almost herbaceous kind of thing.
Well, so, what if you were comparing this to a more common liquor? What would you say?
It's a brandy.
Brandy. All
right. Yeah.
Okay.
So when you taste this, I want you to pull it in your mouth, and I want you to hold it in there for a bit. Just kind of chew it around your mouth, let it go, and it might start to heat up a fair amount.
Okay.
And if it starts to heat up where it almost burns, hold it for a few more seconds, and then let it go down and taste it.
All right. Okay. Well, in the mouth until it heats up.
Let
it heat up.
That's right. This is a really lovely brandy. So, you can get different types of Pisco. This is a Reservado, so you can get a clear Pisco.
Yeah.
And this is a transparent, they call it. And this one is a Reservado. So it's actually been some time in oak barrels, which is why it has a little bit of color to it.
It does heat up. You weren't lying.
Yeah, exactly. So, again, it's a brandy. So this is a grape-based product. And these are, so you're getting that, that's sort of the background. That's where that orchard fruity is kind of coming through there. But it still has some of that, some of those wood characteristics from that American oak that goes into it.
So this would be like a sipping beverage for a lot of people?
A lot of people, yeah, sipping beverage. You can have it just like that, over ice. And we have some really cool cocktails here that we're going to get into as
They
well.
look awesome. It looks like you made one that was like what I would have been crushing back in the day with the Coca-Cola mix. But what else do we got here?
Okay, so we're going to move on next. So this is actually... Now we're going to go back to the whole Peruvian thing. So this is a Pisco sour, and it's strongly associated with Peru. Its modern form is generally credited to an American bartender from the early 1900s that worked in Lima. And so this is just Pisco and some fresh lime juice and some simple syrup, some egg white. So this is good for you. It's got some protein. If you're trying to get your protein numbers up, like a lot of us are as you get a little bit older, especially too, and just a little bit of Angostura bitters.
All right. Smells good. Cheers.
Yeah.
Goes down a little easier.
Goes down a little bit easier,
than
right?
The previous.
This is just a brilliant, refreshing.
Yeah, that's nice.
Super lovely beverage for, it's been nice weather. Almost summertime again now.
Yeah.
Right? So Pisco Sour is the perfect accompaniment to a patio day.
Seems like one you whip up in the jug and you share it with friends.
So it's got the egg whites in it. So you may have noticed that I did this. I shook it twice. So I did like a dry shake, so no ice in it. Really got it all together, and then I added ice into it and shook it again, and that's how you get that nice. And when you first you get that nice little sort of frothiness on top there as well.
100%.
I did it pretty quick today, but if you shake it up, work a little bit harder at it, you can get a nice sort of froth on it. It'll sit as you go through the whole thing. It adds a little bit of nice, sort of creamy texture to the drink as you're drinking it as well. Right?
That is good. Yeah. Question for you.
Yep.
Not to do with these. Shaking it on ice kind of brings out a sweetness in a lot of drinks. Like, what do you think is most impacted? What is the must shake on ice?
Oh, the must shake. Well, this, these are a must shake on ice for sure. Any, sours have got to be got to be shaken over ice for sure. But there's, lots of drinks. There's shaking them and then there's stirring them too, and they do two different things to the beverage, and what is the type of cocktail that you're making. So this is definitely a definite must shake.
Yeah, I remember going to the bar younger, being like, "Oh, can you shake that on ice?" And the bartender kind of rolling the eyes, like, "All right, I need that tip though." Yeah. But that is quite nice.
Yeah, lovely beverage. So, all right, so now we're gonna roll into another great summer beverage. So this is a Pisco Punch. All right, so this is just pineapple juice, Pisco pineapple juice, fresh lemon juice this time, and some simple syrup again. And just shake over ice, strain it over some fresh ice. If you want to garnish it, piece of pineapple, chunk of pineapple, or lemon wheel. But
that smells very good.
Really comes through. Again,
that one could be dangerous.
I think they could both probably be dangerous, but this one even more so, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a really spectacular kind of lemonade. So if you're a lemonade fan, Gregor's gonna be sad he's missing out on this today, right?
Time,
big
absolutely.
lemon guy. He loves his lemonade and things like that. This is top notch.
I would tell him we'd save some for him, but I don't think it'll last.
Yeah, I don't think he can come see me. He knows where to find me.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. He can buy a bottle and get the whole thing.
Exactly. That's right. I can teach him how to make it for him.
He's got the golf trip, so maybe that's what he needs to go do. Buy that
I heard
bottle.
rumors that he might be stocking up for the golf trip coming up here. So I know Steven might be having to put up with him today in the cooler. But,
it's all right.
It's all right.
Slide one of these in the cart as well.
Exactly.
I got to show the bottle again.
Yeah, this is a really, really cool bottle. Yeah. And this is, again, we're going to do some cool bottles the next little way. And on the back to it, even has some of their, their language that's in there and things like that. And that their script they used was called Rongo. I believe. Yeah. So it's fun to say also.
40% alcohol. So 40% pretty standard.
Alcohol. Yep. So yeah, it's a typical brandy, in that sort of way, but definitely unique to that area. And all Pisco has to be made actually in a certain area that's in the Pisco zone kind of thing. So, and this is mostly, I think I gotta look at this again because it is mostly Muscat with some Pedro Jimenez and some Torontel grapes for those grape geeks that are out there looking at that. So, and all the winemaking, growing, distillation, bottling, everything has to happen in that Pisco region to be able to call it Pisco there.
That one of those things that I don't think I ever really picked up on. Like I always knew about champagne has to be from the certain region, but that's kind of standard across the board for a lot of things.
For a lot of things, absolutely, right? So this, you'll see things like cognac, for example, right? So cognac and Armagnac are essentially the same beverage, but the cognac region is home to cognac and cognac only. Armagnac, same thing, right? So, champagne has to come from the Champagne region. Anything else that comes from, bubble, you can't call it that. So
interesting.
Champagne is the most protective of that about anybody else on the planet. So they have a Champagne board that will send you a cease and desist letters rapidly if you use the word champagne for anything.
Protecting the brand, right?
And protecting the brand. And the only people that don't follow those rules and haven't put their thumbs down to or have put their thumbs up against it is the Americans. And so the US will call some of their wine, their sparkling wine, California champagne, things like that. And they're the only people that don't respect that law in the world, but everybody else has. Is
there anything to stop them from doing so, or can you put California champagne, no space?
Yeah, they've got. I was there a couple of years ago, and they talked about that. And there's some sort of little loophole thing that they have there. I think most everybody's like signed agreements to it. But
Yeah.
even Apple a few years ago, several years ago now, one of their phone colors they came out with, they called it champagne for a bit, and they got the letter and they immediately apologized and changed the name from it.
It's good business.
It's great business.
That's actually kind of smart too, because you'd probably have a lot of people seeing that it's popping up in news stories, and then you just say, okay,
yeah,
we'll change it.
There you go.
All right.
Yeah, there we go. All right. And last but not least, so this is the way the Chileans, so we started with Pisco Sour with a Chilean Pisco, the way the Peruvians like to drink it most. And now we're going to drink it the way Chileans do. And this is just a Piscola. And so it's just Pisco and Cola, just kind of like our rum and Cokes, right? Simple, straight up like that. And, you can put a lime wedge with it, and there you go.
That's the thing. I like that. And, when you make it at home, you make it to the strength of your choice. And it's going to vary here and there. But all right, let's give it a go here.
Yeah, and just a fun little switch up from the over sweetness of a rum and Coke. But it's still just delightful on its own.
That's very good. That is very good. And that was my drink, rum and Coke. Occasionally you switch up the rye, but if you're using Coke as the mix, what would be your beverage? Would it be
using Coke as the mix? Oh, geez. I'm not typically a big mixer with sodas these days, but like sometimes a good classic spiced rum and Coke.
Oh yeah,
not so bad.
Spiced rum out of the freezer, as we know.
Yeah, and but I do like a rye and soda, or rye ginger.
Yeah,
things like that once in a while as well.
Mixing the ginger, that's a classier way to do it, I find.
Yeah, sure. Call it classy. Yeah, whatever. Maybe
when you mix it with soda, classy, Canadian classy. Yeah.
Right.
Well, these were really good. I'm looking forward now to next week to see what you bring in here.
Yeah, I think we got. I've got a couple of different choices, and so we're gonna have a lot of fun. I think it's just you and I again next week.
It is,
Is it? All right. So we're gonna challenge your palate some more next week. Then
let's do it. So someone walks into Sherbrooke Liquor, one of your two locations. What do they ask for here?
They just we're looking for the Pisco Reserva.
Yep. Pisco. And I heard it on the Gregor Show.
You heard it on the Gregor Show.
Staff will know.
It's sitting on the front shelves at both stores, just waiting. Little Gregor sign and everything for it. So
awesome. Well, thanks a lot, David. Really appreciate it.
Yeah. But before we go, Silverado, if it hasn't been put in there yet.
Yeah.
Classic, wonderful Western. And Edward Norton for sure. Back to that conversation on Low Tide. Edward Norton.
I don't know.
Seriously.
I was like, he's a movie? I didn't hear that conversation.
Yeah. Well, you
like Edward Norton more than Brad Pitt? Really?
Oh, yeah, he's a way better actor.
Yeah.
Hey, Brad Pitt's a handsome man.
But he's the bigger superstar. That's
the bigger
question.
superstar.
I actually don't even know the debate.
Ed Norton?
What's your favorite Ed Norton film?
Fight Club was great, but American History X it's a very difficult film to watch.
I was gonna say, like one of those movies I don't know if I want to watch again, but good at the time.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. And we've had some really serious ones, and then we've got Buzz Nation says Wild Wild West, Will Smith, it's a variety of these types of movies. So I don't know if you're eligible to win the Elks ticket.
I don't, that's okay. But I did want to throw that out there,
I appreciate it.
People can put some votes in for my Silverado.
Yeah.
The old guys out there.
Well, and that's like some people are saying old movies, but they're like not even that old.
Yeah.
So John Wayne has been brought up a couple of times. That's one I probably need to get into.
There you go.
Or he calls people Pilsner.
Yeah.
Or no, it's not Pilsner. Pilgrim.
So
I'm on the booze here, and someone actually just texted in about Pilsner being the Cowboy champagne. Can they say that?
Yeah, so we'll call that for sure. And then, of course, the Miller High Life is the champagne of yours.
Yeah, that is true. Mm-hmm. David, thanks for doing this today. And every Thursday, 4 or 2:40, we got the Thirsty Thursday segment. 2 locations in the city, the original and then Ottawa location.
Fantastic, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Right on.
All right, that was a lot of fun. These drinks are fantastic. If you want to go grab one, just walk into any Sherbrooke location, mention you heard it on the Jason Gregor Show, and they'll certainly hook you up. Text line's 1-833-401-1440. In case you just tuned in, we are giving away a pair of Elks tickets. They take on the Winnipeg Blue Bombers tomorrow night, 7:30 down at Commonwealth Stadium. To win, all you have to do is text in your favorite Western movie. It's country night. There's kind of a correlation there, right? So that's all you have to do. 1-833-401-1440. We'll take a break. When we come back, we got a couple of members of the Double E cheer team joining us in studio. We'll hear from members of the Green and Gold, and we'll speed things up in the Cantork Racing Report with Colin Livingston. But first, a Sports 1440 update with Declan Kruger, brought to you by Go Auto. Shop over 17,000 vehicles at goauto.ca with 31 vehicle brands and 73 locations to choose from. Find your car at goauto.ca.
This with a Sports 1440 update.
Leaderboard at the TPKC Women's Open down at the Royal Mayfair. Currently atop is Miyu Yamashita at 8 under, Nasa Hatakoa at 7 under, and two Canadians tied for third at 5 under, Michelle Jing and Anna Huang. MLB scores from earlier today was the Cardinals over the Reds 10-9, Guardians over the Giants 5-2, Braves beating the White Sox 2-0, and the Blue Jays over the Rays 5-1. Games right now, the Brewers lead the Mariners 7-4, and the Royals lead the A's 6-2. Two other games in the league, we'll see the Yankees and the Orioles at 4:35, then the Nats and Rangers at 6:05, and the Angels and Astros at 6:10. CFL Week 12 tonight, Ottawa looking for their first win of the season as they head into Montreal to take on the 8-1 Alouettes. 5:30 kickoff for that one, and the line currently minus 13.5 from Montreal. Some news from around the sporting world as Joe Pavelski has joined the Wisconsin men's hockey coaching staff after being a candidate for the Leafs job. James Harden has reached a 3-year, $97 million extension with the Cavs, and the Edmonton Oilers will play 2 games in Germany in Cologne, Leon Draisaitl's hometown, in the 27-28 season. I'm Declan Kruger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Thinking of growing your business? In partnership with Prairie's Can, the Alberta Chambers of Commerce is helping businesses explore new opportunities, new markets, and build connections through organized trade missions across Canada. Find the right mission for you at abchamber.ca/trade missions.
What's 426 divided by 12? Okay, if I carry the one, yeah, we're out. Go Auto has a free credit calculator that does the math for you. See what you could qualify for, estimate your payments, and get a better idea of what's in your budget. Because shopping for a vehicle is exciting, but crunching numbers, yeah, not so much. Text CHECK to 780-777-7777. That's CHECK to 780 all sevens.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the Power Play 24/7 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Big guests, bigger takes. Jason Gregor brings the names you know and the stories you don't. Weekdays 2 to 6 on Sports 1440. Don't miss a minute of the action on Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection? Incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need, Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
The Chicken Parmy Burger. Make extreme pulled pork, garlic and black pepper chicken McNuggets, cheesy bacon McFlavor fries, and the Stroop Waffle McFlurry. You've scrolled them. You've screenshotted them. You've never been able to order them until now. This is the McDonald's World Menu Heist. The most wanted menu items taken from around the world, now in Canada. Get them while you can. For a limited time only at participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
School's almost out, and road trip season is just around the corner. But if your brakes sound like they're grinding harder than a hockey fourth liner, it might be time to visit Napa Auto Parts. Napa has all the quality parts, tools, and know-how to help keep your vehicle running smoothly and road ready. With over 85 locations in Alberta, visit your local Napa store today or shop online at napacanada.com. That's Napa know-how.
You probably know Stingray for radio advertising.
What about digital advertising?
Yeah, we do that.
Connected TV?
We do that.
Search and social?
And that.
Programmatic? Digital out of home?
We do it all. Endless digital platforms to connect your business to more customers, to intrigue them, engage them, so they choose your product or service. Get started now at stingraymediasolutions.com and let us help your business grow. We are Stingray. That's what we do.
Let's drop!
Portions of this hour are brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. We treat pain and injuries head to toe and some other issues that might surprise you, like incontinence, vertigo, neuropathy, and cognitive issues. We invest in the technology, techniques, skills, and people who know how and what to fix. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
The Jason Gregor Show with guest host Connor Halley. This is Sports 1440.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
It's just after 3 o'clock. Thank you for joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley sitting in for the vacationing Jason. We got Declan Kruger, Mackenzie McLennan, and young Connor here as well. Of course, the show brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Check out the daily grant tonight. And then tomorrow, it is the $55 million Lotto Max. Use your game sense, but go check it out. We've also got the daily specials in the sports section. Right now, special guest joining us in studio. A lot of you probably see them at the games. You'll see them tomorrow for Country Night. Performing on the field once a quarter, always moving around the concourse, seeing them at random events at town as well. We've got Sydney and Megan, two cheerleaders for the Edmonton Elks cheer team. Thank you guys for coming in today.
Thanks for having us. Yeah, we're so excited.
Of course. Yeah, no. And it's one of those things, like I've told people, like I've worked in sports radio for 18, 19 years now, and we've never heard from the cheerleaders. Mm-hmm. So why not do it? Like, see what's really going on here. Lots of things I do want to get to. So just first things first, when you are out there, you guys are both dancers.
Yes.
How many different roles are there on the team?
So we have dancers, which is us. And then there's the flyers. So they go up in the air and flip around. And then the bases. So they throw the girls and lift.
Mostly the guys on the team?
Yes.
Most part, right? Yes. Okay. That was kind of the first question because I wasn't exactly sure. I know at one of the watch parties, I think one of the flyers came, but she was like, I don't dance. So she just sat down and like, oh, okay, I'm sorry, I didn't actually know. So there's different roles on the team. What is it like, the whole process to make the team? Because we see on social media, tryouts are coming and they kind of give us a little bit of tidbits of what goes on. But I'm assuming it's different things for different positions on the team. So Sydney, you are going into year 9 here. This is your 9th year on the team. What is the whole process? How many tryouts are there? How many people are being cut annually?
So we do it over a process of, I think it's 3 weeks. So the first week, you just kind of learn the dances, you learn the routines, get a little bit comfortable. The next week, you come in prepared, you perform the dances, and then they make cuts from there. And then after those cuts, you do interviews, and then you do a solo on your own, and then you do the same routines again. And then that's how they pick the final team.
Now, Megan, did you make it on your first attempt?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
So both of you, like we were talking beforehand, you didn't cheer in high school, so there's not a prerequisite with that. But I assume both of you long careers dancing?
Yes, we both were competitive dancers growing up. So
okay.
That's most of the dance team.
And what was the background? Like, I have a little bit of knowledge. My sisters were at Lecky's for a long time, so jazz, tap, ballet. What did you guys do?
I think we probably did the same thing as like all dancers. You grow up doing a little bit of everything. Like you do tap, jazz, ballet, hip hop, musical theater. They just kind of have you trying everything and then see what you like the best.
Did you guys do any other sports growing up?
I didn't.
I played some hockey and soccer growing up, but around grade 7, you had to choose between that or dance. So chose dance.
Okay. I coached soccer and I coached some girls for a few years. And I will say the best girls had a background in dance. Like their footwork was clearly better. You could just tell that they did a little bit more. And, that's why I think we should get away from specializing in sports, like play all the sports and pick up all these different skill sets. Okay. So a lot of questions here for you. Going back to the tryouts, how many are trying out kind of year to year? I'm assuming it varies, but Sydney, like the last couple of years, how many have been going out for it?
I want to say, so we pick 17 for the dancers for the team. And I think it depends on the year. Like sometimes there's a lot of people and sometimes there's not as many. But also it depends on the amount of vets that come back too. And for me and Megan, we've come back, I guess, obviously for the past 9 and 7 years. So we've been there every time. I think this past year there was maybe around 50 girls maybe that tried out altogether. So then, yeah, there's quite a few cuts.
We've got Sydney and Megan here from the Double E cheer team here. Just talking a little bit about the cheerleading and everything about it. So you guys mentioned there's interviews. It's not just based on your ability. There's also more to the interview. We talk about it with professional athletes all the time. The weirdest questions they get asked during their interviews with pro teams at the draft process. So what was, if you can say, what were like the weird question that stood out to you?
I don't think weird. They had, for my interview at least, some like football knowledge questions. So I touched upon that, but I knew there was a certain amount of questions where I definitely had to review my football a bit.
Like what kind of football questions would it be?
Like rules of the game,
Mm-hmm.
a little bit, like more CFL niche rules versus I think NFL has some different rules.
Yeah. How many downs, kind of things like that, or more in depth?
I think I got certain names of coaches and that was tough for me.
Really?
Because they told us anything that's on the Elks website, we can ask you. So I remember studying so hard my first year, especially because you have to learn so many names and they're always really complicated names. So yeah, you just have to, whatever's on the website, they can test you on is what they say.
So who was the head coach of the team when you guys started? Do you remember?
I don't know if mine was
it Jason Moss?
I think, yeah.
You might have been in a tough period where there was like a coach and then he didn't end up coaching. COVID was an issue. I think there was a bunch of coaches going in and out. So Jason Moss and one of them. Yeah, that's fair. You guys told me that you were both on the team during COVID and instead of practicing in person, you would do like online practicing.
Yeah.
Did you have to set up a camera and like dance just in your living rooms or like just follow along? How did that process go?
We actually had Zoom practices. And it was really hard because we'd have to do our dances all together. And so all our little boxes would be together, but they're lagging. And it looks like we're off time, but we might be on time. And also just talking to each other, it would be 17 people in a Zoom meeting. A little hard to coordinate. We got better as the season went on, but there was definitely some hiccups at the beginning.
So then when you guys actually were able to go back and, practice in person like normal, like was it right there? Was everybody ready to go? Or was it kind of like, okay, maybe we need to practice a little bit more?
I think it took a little while to start dancing all together again. It's harder to build connections with, especially rookies, when you're all separate and you haven't even met yet. And you're just kind of seeing each other in a group call. But once we got together, I think it just naturally, we came together pretty quick.
Oh, that is awesome. So we've got Sydney and Megan joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show, members of the Edmonton Elks cheer team here. The team in action tomorrow night, taking on the Winnipeg Blue Bombers at 7:30. Quickly, we're doing a ticket giveaway. And the question is, since it's country night, what is your favorite Western movie? Are either of you fans of the genre?
I haven't watched many Western movies, I don't think.
You guys are kind of like me because I don't have that many of them. Like I was like, well, Django is a good one. I don't know if you guys have seen that. A little more recent.
I haven't.
No.
I've heard of it, but I haven't.
Okay. Well, you might want to check it out. It's a pretty good movie. Pretty good movie. We did have some text coming in here from some of our listeners. I think even Declan wanted me to ask you guys, how was it dancing in the dinosaur outfits? Because then I heard one of you had fallen on the way out as well. Like it's still got to be a little cumbersome.
I don't know if that was last year. I fell and they had to come get me and unzip me. So that was fun. And everyone was like, oh, don't worry. They don't know it's you because you're in the costume, but they unzipped me. So they definitely knew it was me.
Did you have to get out and like walk of shame down the side of the field?
The full walk of shame, head out, like couldn't breathe. But we have so much fun. Like we're just screaming and laughing the whole time in the dinosaur outfit. So it's something we look forward to. Like it's something we love.
Do you guys have a favorite theme night? Because I'm like trying to think back, like there was a 90s night last year, which was interesting. As someone who was born in the 80s, I was like, some of these songs aren't really accurate, but try not to be too critical from the press box. But I don't know, country night's pretty cool. Do you guys have a favorite?
A lot of the girls, myself included, love country night. We look forward to it every year. So tomorrow's going to be super exciting.
Yeah, I think country night's really fun. We wear little country outfits to and from the game as well, which we really love.
Yeah.
But yeah, the dino game too is something that we've just created a tradition with, doing the routine in the dino suit. So I think that one's really fun for us as well.
So on a game day, like what is the process for it? We talk with this with athletes all the time, and the same meal, same sort of thing. So for you guys, let's say it is a 7:30 start. What time would the game prep get going at?
So we have to be there 3 hours early.
Mhm.
So we get there, we do a practice for an hour, and then we have about an hour to get ready, and then we go out early to get in the tunnel before the game. So it's kind of a long day for us, I guess, altogether. But yeah, we always get food laid out. We have our momager is what we like to call her, Mama Karen.
Mhm.
She always lays out a nice spread of food for us, so we get to eat there before we go, get ready. We have our energy drinks
Yeah.
always, and
What's the energy drink of choice?
oh my gosh, we have been obsessed with Alani's.
We love Alani's.
Me too. Me too. I go to Costco every week. Have you guys had the witch's brew yet?
No.
No.
I have.
You have? Do you like it?
Yes, not my favorite,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
So
Cotton candy is the
Yes,
go-to for me. Yeah,
I
that's
agree.
the one. So, okay, so a lot of prep going into it the day of. During the week, how many days are you guys practicing?
we practice once a week,
Mhm.
sometimes twice a week if something is coming up and we need extra rehearsal time.
Okay. So, and then like leading up to the season, I would assume it's a couple days a week, kind of making sure you get everything settled.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
it just depends how much prep we end up needing before the game comes up.
Okay. And how many new girls or guys on the team this year?
I think on the dance team there's 4 or 5 new
Mhm.
girls. For the stunt team, maybe 5 new bases, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I wanted to ask this as well. I mean, obviously, I was talking to Jake, who's she does everything here, but she said her youngest daughter at one point was like, "I really want to be a cheerleader." It never happened. But for you guys, at what point did you decide like this is something I'd like to pursue and try to do?
I think when you're graduating high school, you kind of know your time with competitive dance is up,
Mhm.
and there's some options. I think there's a lot more options now, but when you're graduating, you're like, oh, I want to keep dancing, but I want to go to school at the same time. I need to work, do all this stuff. So I think that that's where it really fit for me is
Mhm.
that I was able to go to school, work, and then still get to do do dance.
How competitive were you guys in dance? Like someone who I know vaguely about it, as I mentioned, but I'm not like too in tune with how competitive it gets. Like, was this something you guys were doing 6 nights a week, 7 nights a week, more?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think a lot of our time we spent dancing outside of school, and even we missed a lot of school probably for dance.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I ended up doing online school for my last couple years just
Really?
because we were dancing so much and you're just tired in the mornings and you're there
Yeah.
till 10 or 11 p.m. every night. And so yeah, it was a lot of time.
How far did that take you? Like, were you guys doing competitions all around the world? Like, how far would you guys go to do competitions?
I think it depends on the studio.
Mm-hmm.
So both of us probably did competitions like throughout Canada, and just depending on the year, we'd maybe go to like the States for like a competition that was
Nice.
happening.
All right, we've got Megan and Sydney here, members of the Edmonton Elks cheer team. A couple more questions I want to get to here. Cold weather or hot weather? What's the preference for you? Because it gets cold and it gets crazy hot during the season. We've had a lot of people say, like, playing football in the heat sucks. You'd rather be cold so you can layer up. What's the preference for you guys?
I think that's a really good question for this year because we had the worst weather for the games this year.
Yeah,
with
the home
rain.
opener was just pouring, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was hard for us because you can't really even see when it's raining and you're just soaked. Your makeup's coming off, your hair is out. Like I think that's tough. But then when it's really hot, it's hard to find the energy to dance sometimes.
Yes.
So
And with Commonwealth, it almost heats up more. So whatever you're feeling in the stands might be 5 or 10 more degrees, like right on the concourse. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's definitely tough when it's really hot.
How awesome has it been this year to see the fans start to show up again? Like, you guys have been doing it 7-9 years. Like, you were there for the bad times, and we've covered it for the bad times. We can be honest, it wasn't good. There was a lot of times where the stadium was quite empty, but now you had 30,000 and 22,000. Like, fans are clearly starting to come back. I assume, like the players, that impacts you guys. The emotion, the energy level has to be kind of off the charts now.
yeah, definitely. I think it almost makes us emotional just seeing everyone come back. And it was really nice when our parents would all be in the stands just
Mhm.
supporting us, but it's also really nice to have fans be there and support the football team and us, which, yeah, it's just the energy is a whole different situation when there's so many people there. So, yeah.
Now, you guys, are you doing the fundraiser to go to the Grey Cup this year? Is that a thing? Because I know in the past you had like the buttons?
The pins, yeah.
Pins, that's the one. Are you guys doing that again this year?
We haven't gotten our pins yet.
Oh, okay.
Actually, there's a discrepancy, I think, with the CFL and pricing with the pins. So we haven't got them yet,
But maybe coming. Okay, so if that happens, you see them around the stadium, maybe you buy some. What has been your favorite Grey Cup memory? Because I know you guys have been to a couple.
I think it was really special. A couple years ago, me and Sydney both got to go on stage with the Jonas Brothers and perform at the halftime show. And it was super fun just to be up together and dancing and doing what we love.
How about you? Same thing or anything better?
Yeah, I think that one is so hard to beat. The Jonas Brothers were a band that I watched when I was like, I think I went to their concert when I was like 7 or 8 years old.
Mhm.
So to be on stage with them was something that I could never forget. And we were really thankful. They cut some of the teams. Like they didn't let Winnipeg or Toronto or Saskatchewan. I think actually on stage it was only some of the teams that got to go up. So
Okay.
we were really lucky that we got to be one of them.
Okay, and are you guys going down for Labor Day this year? Have you found out if you're allowed back to Calgary?
I think we're still waiting to
Still
see.
waiting.
We're really wanting to go.
Yeah, because you guys just make the day trip too, right? Like
Yeah.
that's a long day for you guys.
Yeah.
But it'd be good to go. We used to go all the time, and that was kind of like the best part about it because I think I saw the Elks or the Eskimos win twice in 11 trips. But you just cheer on the cheer team and have a good time. It's always pretty good down there. Well, a couple more actually. Favorite opponent? Is it the Rough Riders? Like the fans that they bring?
Yeah, I want to say the Rough Rider fans for the most part are really respectful, which is really nice. Sometimes you'll get the fans that are not the nicest when we're cheering towards them, but for the most part, the Rough Rider fans we've always said are really respectful
Mhm.
and they bring in a great crowd. It's sad when they're cheering for the Riders over the Elks sometimes, but we appreciate the energy and them showing up.
If you had to say who's the most disrespectful fan base, is it BC? That they've been I've always had bad experience with like Lions and Canucks fans have always been the worst for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't know if this is I wouldn't say the worst, but there's always that Battle of Alberta.
Mhm.
So I feel like whenever Calgary's in, it's a little more tense in the stands because always Calgary versus Edmonton.
That makes sense. Well, you guys, thanks so much for coming in studio. Really appreciate it. I think we're going to do a couple more visits around the office here and check in on a few more stations. But if people want tickets, goelks.com tomorrow night, 7:30. So you guys will be there 4:30.
Yeah.
That's all right. Awesome. Well, Sydney, Megan, thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
There you go. That is Sydney and Megan, longtime vets of the Green and Gold cheer team. Go check them out. Oh, was that insulting? Long vets, young vets in the cheer world, of course. And go check them out tomorrow night, taking on the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. We're going to talk Bombers later on in the show as well. Lots to get to still. We'll talk about the Condors. We'll speed things up in the Cantork Racing Report coming up next. And we'll also do some Elks audio as they spoke to practice after media today. It is the Jason Gregor Show, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is your #1 air conditioning company. So when you can't take living in oppressive heat any longer,
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
if your hot, sticky sheets keep you up all night,
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
if you've decided that you deserve to be cool and comfortable,
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
and with no payments, no interest for 1 year, it could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
At GS Construction, we won't quit until we find a way to get the job done. And the right person makes all the difference. We're looking for our next superintendent, an experienced leader ready to take on the role. Because while GS Construction is building the water, sewage, and drainage systems Edmonton communities rely on, the superintendent is building up the team. If you know how to keep a job site safe, productive, and moving, we want to hear from you. Visit gsconstruction.ca/careers today.
Kickoff is coming August 21st. Elks, Blue Bombers at Play Alberta Field at Commonwealth Stadium. It's country night presented by Innova. Dust off that Canadian tuxedo and bring the hockey talk to the field. Get your tickets at goelks.com/tickets.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's AquaCentral reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade: safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
Tap into the fun of Play Alberta's most popular casino games. From the fast-paced spins of Cash Eruption to the retro thrills of Sevens Wild, online excitement is always at your fingertips. Spin through your choice of popular slots or discover Alberta-exclusive games you won't find anywhere else. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Oodle Noodle origin. In 1864, Francis Oodle took over his dying father's business as a leatherman. He was quite proficient, but his heart was never truly in the trade. After his father's death, Oodle met a cocksure young man named Vladimir Nudel, who was a trailblazer in the popular new art of food boxes. They formed a partnership and aimed to ply their trade in the New World. At Ellis Island, Nudel was renamed David Noodle, and henceforth, the franchise has been known as Oodle Noodle.
Photographers, start your cameras. Vision Credit Union's annual photo contest is back. We're asking you to show us the people, places, and moments that made you glad you chose this rural life. Maybe it's the view from your farm, a walk down Main Street, neighbors pitching in, a weekend at the rodeo, or a sunset down a back road. Share your photo to show why life in rural Alberta is a choice worth celebrating. Enter and vote at whatsyourshare.ca.
It's finally time to escape your four walls and see where your four wheels can take you. Sherwood Honda helps you head out on the road the way you want to, with the right vehicle, including freedom-seeking SUVs that give you the versatility to drive where, when, and how you want to. It sure would do some good to get out and stretch your horizons, and sure would be easier with Sherwood Honda.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. Nope, brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor, the best place for wine, cocktails, and beers from all over the world, plus a variety of excellent non-alcoholic options. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
The Jason Gregor Show with guest host Connor Halley. This is Sports 1440.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Welcome back. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, Mackenzie McLennan with you here from the Sports 1440 studios in West Edmonton. Well, once again, big thank you to Sydney and Megan dropping by. If you want to go watch them in person tomorrow night, Elks, Bombers, 7:30 down at Commonwealth. And again, if you want tickets, you don't win, let me know. I got a guy for you. Lots of, not really questions, lots of just good Western movies rolling in here. And, we'll get to those at some point. That's kind of our giveaway for the day. All you have to do is text us your favorite Western movie, since it is country night. And we'll give one lucky listener 2 tickets. Now, there was something that was texted in earlier about not liking country. And I know that's a rarity here. It's just not my favorite genre. I said it earlier on. But I think tomorrow that might be maybe like the one. Maybe favorite country song or something. And then I'll have a few I can go listen to. We got a few more rolling in here for Back to the Future 3 in a non-joking way. Magnificent 7, The Wild Bunch, Tombstone. There's just a lot going on. Billy texting in regards to the Thirsty Thursday. This guy should be bringing in enough for all the listeners. Well, I got some leftovers here. If you guys want to come in here and grab my remainders. The straight version of that was quite a lot. It was quite potent, but not too bad. Connor called those ladies old as dirt right to their face. Wow. Yeah. Well, I mean, they're vets. There's nothing wrong with being a vet. I face it every day here at MTR with the younger generation at Sports 1440. It is a reality, but you've got to praise the longevity. You know, that's what it is. They were off mic though, too. I hope that it wouldn't be heard, but that's it. When you can go as long and hang with the young kids still, I think there's something to it. But I think I have it worse. Like, I'm almost 40. Connor, the intern's 22. I'm not going to age everyone else but they're in the middle. Keeps us young. Keeps us young, for sure. Text lines 1-833-401-1440. Deck, we were going to get to some of the Elks audio, but hasn't unfortunately been loaded, the stuff from today. So we'll avoid that for now, but there's still lots to look at. And you are the old NBA expert here at Sports 1440. We did see some cash getting handed out as James Harden, 3-year deal with the Cavs worth $97 million. We're not really taken back by the big deals in the association anymore, but what were your thoughts on that deal?
Yeah, it's fun. Josh made a great joke about this earlier today. One of the best jokes in a while here at Sports 1440. He said getting $37 million a year in the NBA is basically the vet minimum. And it's kind of true. Listen, I'm sure I didn't see it, but I would have it must be a player option for the third year, which I'm sure he'll end up opting into. This is about right for James Harden's production value versus age versus playoff experience. Like, I don't think James Harden is going to be leading this team to the promised land. They're paying Donovan Mitchell a bunch of money. I think they're paying him like $70 million a year. So they got a lot of money tied up in those two. He's a great player. He's a legend of the game. I'm glad a player of his stature is getting one final kind of big contract, but you're paying him for what he does in the regular season, not what he doesn't do in the playoffs.
That's a fair rundown. What he does in the regular season, not what he doesn't do. So when you look at this Eastern Conference deck, this is a good show for you, college football. Now we're talking some hoops.
Mm-hmm.
If I were to say, let's not say total playoff teams, but like top 4, who's getting home court advantage this year in the NBA?
In the East,
the East,
I think it'll be the Knicks, the 76ers, and then I do think it'll be Cleveland, and I'll throw Toronto a floater and say them. I think Detroit's going to take a big step back. A healthy Indiana could be interesting. Boston, they'll always be in that mix. They might be a better option than Toronto. Miami, of course, with Giannis. But I'll say those 4. I'll say the Knicks, Sixers, Cavs, and Raptors.
The movement this year, it seemed for a long time, not that the East was easy, but compared to the West, you just had so many teams to go through in the West. There's a bit of a shift now. The East got more competitive. But Giannis stays in the East. You see, aging LeBron. He's still LeBron, but he's older. Kawhi, we assume when the deal goes down, that's a good move, no doubt about it. It's going to help them on the court. How much better does it make them? You have them 4th, maybe battling Boston being in there as well. Emmanuel Quickly, RJ Barrett, Scotty Barnes. How much better does this make Scotty Barnes? Because I've often thought that he's kind of that second player.
How much better does it make Scotty Barnes specifically?
Yeah. We've seen it from him, but
yeah, I think Scotty Barnes is probably at best a number 2 on a championship contending team. No shade. It's really tough to be a number 1. It's kind of few and far between. I don't know if he's that guy. The biggest thing for the Raptors team as a whole is obviously a lot more went into it than this, but if we're just looking at the 5 guys that are going to be on the court and in a vacuum, you replace Brandon Ingram with Kawhi Leonard. That is a massive, massive jump for that team. Scotty is probably going to operate a little bit more as a point forward, I would say. I think his assist numbers might take a jump, still going to be very involved. Defensively, he's going to take a lot of important defensive assignments. Not that Kawhi can't, but I think Kawhi will just probably have a touch bigger load offensively. So Scotty might be right around 28 and 5.5 as a stat line, but I think he's better suited for team success if he's the number 2 versus the number 1.
I can't wait for it, to be honest. If it happens, I mean, they're still trying to figure these things out. It's crazy that we're so far into this process where it seems as if both sides have agreed to the terms and we're just waiting for the league to kind of allow it, process the move. But I guess we'll have to see once it gets going. Some other news and notes from today. Elvis Merzlikins for the Columbus Blue Jackets underwent shoulder surgery. No timeline for a return, so we'll see how that impacts the old Columbus Blue Jackets. And the NFL drama of Aaron Donald. He continues to have workouts with the team. This might be one of those worst-kept secrets. It's going to happen. It has to happen. Aaron Donald plays a position where you have that luxury of working him into the lineup slowly. It could be, the 4th or 5th defensive lineman fifth or sixth, and maybe for pass rush or situations only to get him out there. But you got to get that official word that it is going to happen, and when it does happen, what a luxury for Aaron Donald just to drop back and get on the team. Retired after 10 years, had a Hall of Fame career. As soon as he's eligible, he would have been going in. This will set that back for a little bit longer, similarly to what happened with Phillip Rivers in terms of eligibility. But that dominating force that they could have with he and Myles Garrett, you line those guys up on the same side, and that is going to be absolute horror for the opposing offensive lineman trying to stop that. Text line is 1-833-401-1440. A couple other movies to check out. Best comedy Western of all time. Evil Roy Slade. Look it up. It's priceless. From Tony. Tony, haven't seen it, but that gets you entered into the draw. The good, the bad, the ugly, Tombstone. We're realistically looking at like 3 or 4 really movies that are kind of taken to the top. 3:10 to Yuma, Red River, Young Guns. I think that would have been Gregor's pick if he was in today. I'm going to have to talk to our next guest about that as well. Gave him a little bit of a look there. Okay, well, maybe we won't. Maybe we'll just stick to motorsport. We'll take a quick break here. When we come back, we will be joined by Colin Livingston of the Cantor Race Report. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, streaming on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and Twitch. Brought to you by playalberta.ca.
You don't just need property services, you need problems handled. HireGood provides cleanup, debris removal, site monitoring, and safety attendance across Edmonton. We reduce issues on your property, keep spaces safe, and take pressure off your team. We resolve real problems for businesses while creating real impact, because our team is built on second chances, and they show up every day ready to prove it. Visit hiregood.ca or call and mention Jason Gregor for a first-time discount. HireGood. Stable jobs create stable lives.
Edmonton's only 24-hour-a-day sports radio station can be heard anytime, anywhere. Sports 1440 is streaming on your phone, your tablet, your computer. Download an app today and listen to Sports 1440.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Crispy caramelized edges, a pillowy, airy center. Meet the new Papa John's Pan Pizza. Made with Parmesan and Romano cheeses, Papa John's special garlic sauce, and Italian seasoning, all baked directly into the bottom of the crust for a signature golden finish and crispy, savory crunch. Grab a medium pan pizza for just $16.99 today at your local Papa John's. Order now in the app or at papajohns.ca. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
When your project can't afford downtime, call Japa Equipment Rentals. From excavators and wheel loaders to compaction equipment, Japa has the machines you need. Trusted since 1972. Visit japaequipment.com or stop our Edmonton or Calgary locations.
This summer, cheer on your favorite teams at Sully's Sports Bar and Lounge. Never a bad seat in the house with tons of big screens. Plus, Sully's Big League menu has it all. Small bites and big bites, game day food and drink features, something for everyone. From the gridiron to the diamond, this is the place to catch all the action all summer long. Sully's Sports Bar and Lounge at all 3 Century Casino locations, Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile.
Every day is game day at Century Casino.
It's finally time to escape your 4 walls and see where your 4 wheels can take you. Sherwood Honda helps you head out on the road the way you want to, with the right vehicle, including freedom-seeking SUVs that give you the versatility to drive where, when, and how you want to. It sure would do some good to get out and stretch your horizons, and sure would be easier with Sherwood Honda.
I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. The goal of every one of the thousands of hair restoration procedures I've performed is a full, natural-looking head of hair. I work directly with my patients for the consultation, the procedure, and the follow-up, so we can achieve the best results possible. When people see what we accomplish, I don't want them to think,
Wow, great hair transplant.
I want them to think,
wow, great hair.
Go to drvancelliot.com and contact us today.
Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete and septic tanks to blocks, precast water pads, jersey barriers and aggregates. Farmers, contractors, homeowners. Plan your next project at BashawConcrete.com. Family owned. Over 60 years pouring. Bashaw Concrete Products. Once again, start here. BashawConcrete.com.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Ewell. Helping you finish your electrical project is their goal. From pot lights to electrical panels, the gear you need is at ewell.ca or in person at one of their Edmonton area locations. ewell.ca, your partners in power.
The Jason Gregor Show with guest host Connor Halley. This is Sports 1440.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.340, welcome back. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Go check them out. Big chances to win tomorrow night, but tonight you got the Daily Grand. Lotto Max tomorrow, 55 million plus 4 Max Million at PlayAlberta.ca. You can also check out the Jason Gregor Show specials, as usual, boosted right now that will speed things up in the Cantork Race Report with Colin Livingston. Of course, brought to you by Cantork. Made in Canada, made for Canada, where extreme isn't theoretical. Find your solution at cantork.com. CL, good afternoon. How you doing?
What's going on, man?
Just hanging out. It's been an eventful day.
I like coming in on cheerleader day.
Cheerleaders, alcohol, I don't know. You know, it's snowballed.
It's always alcohol on Thursday, but when did the, like, and I mean,
speeding.
It sounds creepy, but for people who don't know, I do have a very, very long and storied connection to the world of cheerleading. So not just talking as a creepy old guy, but as a proud father of a couple of cheerleaders and
Elks alumni cheer team, right?
Yeah. Parker was with the Elkamos for, geez, I don't know, like 8 years, something like that.
Oh, really? That long?
It was quite a while. Yeah. You know, my daughter is still an active coach, and you know, my ex-wife is a gym owner. So I've been to countless events, and you know, been to the cheerleading worlds. I don't know how many times, 4 or 5 times. And
yeah. Well, I mean, I've known Sydney for a few years now, working the Elks watch parties, and Megan, like, they both work full-time jobs in the medical field, and then they go to practice and then cheer. Like, it's a busy schedule, and they're out at all these events as well. So
yeah, they do. I mean, the Elks do a great job. You know, obviously supporting the community. The number of events that they do outside of, you know, football is crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's very cool to see that community support.
Yeah, you go to an event, charity, like fundraiser, whatever it might be, you'll probably see a couple players with a couple of members of the cheer team. So yeah, it is awesome what they do. So I asked you, kind of not directly, but we're talking Western movies for a chance to win tickets to the game tomorrow. It is country night down at Commonwealth, and you kind of had a face. Are you not a fan of the genre?
Absolutely not.
Not at all? No?
Not even I don't even think I've seen Young Guns.
Really?
And that would probably be the closest thing. No country music, no country movies, just, you know, not my thing for sure. Now, if you want to talk about action, adventure, comedy, I've probably seen it, but Colonel Potter from MASH used to say, his favorite movie has his three favorite things: horses, cowboys, and horses.
Yeah.
On this, we would have to disagree 100%.
With that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen all of the ones that have rolled in, but we did that 1260 movie watch back in the day. And it was like some of them just very long. That like you had to be patient. And for me, that's tough. So kind of like a 2-day event, but there's some good ones out there. Some of them are worth it for sure. Let's talk some racing. You had an eventful week last week. Would that be fair to say?
That's an understatement for sure.
And disappointing as well.
Up and down.
Mm-hmm.
That's racing in a nutshell, is it's kind of the highest highs, lowest lows. When you think everything is running the way you want it to, the ground can fall out from under you, and once in a while you think nothing can go right and you kind of back end your way into something positive. It's if you're not prepared for the unexpected emotions, racing may not be for you. But last week we were in Markham, the first ever Honda Indy at Markham, after whatever it was, almost 40 years at Exhibition Place in Toronto. We showed up. I was in town on Thursday. We were supposed to have multiple sessions on the track Friday, but the track wasn't ready.
Yeah.
So we didn't know a lot of what was going on. The various series. I mean, we were competing in the FEL M Zone Radical Cup as well as NASCAR Canada. Our series didn't know what was going on. They just knew that the event was working on the track. We had no clear timeline. Unfortunately for fans who showed up, it was free Friday, but there was a grandstand where we were in turn 5. It was, my conservative estimate, 60% full all day. And people got to watch nothing besides service vehicles, golf carts, and a couple of people walking around the track. I came to find out actually through our friend Todd Lewis. Todd's a longtime motorsports broadcaster. His online blog, the PA system, the TV system, and all that, it also wasn't set up until Saturday morning. So they couldn't even do announcements to tell people that there wasn't going to be any racing. So that was really interesting. We didn't know until Saturday morning if we were going to be able to race, because for the track to work for IndyCar, the FIA had to certify it. They had to go through and make sure that everything was done to their standard, that all the safety apparatus were in place. But that was granted at like 7 a.m. on Saturday morning. So then we knew we were going to go play. And again, we were running the 2 series. So we had the Radical car out. We had the NASCAR. Alex qualified P1 in the first race. Led the majority of the race, got passed with about 4 minutes to go, coming out of turn 4, passed the guy back, coming out of turn 5, made a clean pass. It wasn't like he was kind of partially beside him and turned into him, like made the pass. But that also gave the chasing car a bit of a draft. There was a lap car that Alex had to kind of make a correction because he wasn't sure if the car was going to stay tight to the right or, stay to the left. When he had to back out, the guy behind just drilled us, knocked Alex into the wall, ended the day. He was disqualified. He appealed the disqualification. So the series, they don't do the appeals on site. It gets handled by a different body. We don't know when that appeal is actually going to be heard. So he was able to race in the second race as if nothing happened. If he had accepted, he would have to start at the back of the field, but he was able to maintain the starting place. But in the second race, somehow the guys got the car back together. We weren't sure if there was chassis damage. We weren't sure if we had all the parts and pieces, because we've had to repair an awful lot this year. But the guys did a great job. We got back out. And to put it mildly, Alex whooped everyone's ass. It was like a proper thumping. When we have these incidents, because for the majority of the competitors that are in the pro class are kids. And, we've had some incidents with all the drivers. But when we do, there tends to be a reaction that, well, you need to show these guys what to do, and okay, well, the series says this is okay, then you need to show them that it isn't by kind of reciprocating. And every time we have an issue like this, I say to Alex as we're going out onto the track, I said, it's time to show these kids how a professional can do it.
Mm-hmm.
And he did just that. At one point we were 2 seconds a lap faster than the P2 car,
really?
Especially towards the end of the race. Yeah, our engineers made a really, really smart change to the car. Alex drove patient, drove very calculated. Once we took the lead, it was all over. NASCAR, kind of a different story. We were quick. We were down to 2 laps. We kept having these cautions towards the end, so we got extended laps. Short version of a long story is the alternator, one of the cables to the alternator disconnected, and the car shut down once it ran out of power. Not a lot the team could do. They keep giving us great cars. Alex keeps driving really well. We just keep having, last weekend, GP3R, we had a brake line fail, basically destroyed the front end of the car, but that's racing, as they say.
Colin Livingston joining us here on the Cantork Race Report. Some big news out of F1. Max Verstappen staying with Red Bull through 2030. Said he was closer to retiring than joining a rival. Was he 36? 28? Is he 28?
He's not 30. Yeah, give or take. I have no idea how old any of them. They're all kids to me, right?
Well, then I'll always remember is that Nico Rosberg retired after he won.
Yeah.
And I was so mad. And he got Lewis Hamilton. Give him a chance to get it back. He retires, but pretty good deal, I'd say, for Verstappen. I don't know what the cost is, what it's going to be, but I would say he's adding to his generational wealth.
He plays it very well because he's been legitimately frustrated with this generation car, with the regulations the way they are, but he's also no dummy. He's very, very calculating, very clever. Put a lot of fear into the team that he might leave, which makes the team take a look at, well, if he does leave, what are we going to do? And then magically finds a way to re-sign. And the number that's being reported right now, like Max and Lewis are being paid roughly 40 million pounds per year. Euro, pounds, doesn't matter. It's 40 million. That number will certainly be larger in 28, 29, 30. So
now a guy we brought up last time we did this, so 2 weeks ago, Stingray Robb. We were told he had a lot of cash flow. That doesn't seem to be the case, does it?
No, really interesting. I saw a great interview that a gentleman named David Ladd did with Stingray, and point blank asked him. It was reported that, you come with about $15 million. Is this number accurate? He's like, it's not. And then he elaborated further, saying that he believes that some of these numbers are being released by rival teams, because what the teams are trying to do is show that the value of an IndyCar seat is higher than what it is. So if most IndyCar teams, if you bring, if you're even a moderate back marker and you've got between $6 and $8 million, you can find your way into a seat. They're saying 15 million. They're saying this other kid, Nolan Siegel, has 11 million, and they're both likely having a hard time finding a ride for next year, which is kind of creating the perception that, maybe the seat, instead of being 6 or 8, it's closer to 10, 12, 13, 14, because owners are trying to maximize every penny that they can. Regardless, our buddy Stingray, it's not looking positive for him next year. Not really sure. Nolan Siegel seems to have a couple of potential, but very, very far from signing anything. So we'll see. It's starting to seem more and more, though, like teams are starting to hire more on merit because they've got better revenues and better financials than they did a few years ago, instead of just simply taking the driver that has the cash.
Colin, before we let you go, how about your racing?
Oh boy. I'm still kind of
pretty successful here,
licking my wounds. It's been eventful the last couple of weeks. Lots of contact, which I am not a fan of. I mean, anybody who thinks Rubbing's racing has never actually sat in a proper go-kart, or probably any other car. I mean, from time to time, there's only so much room and you might make contact. But in a go-kart, we're pulling hard G's anyway. And when you're getting, crash banged, like it takes a lot. I had my bumper ripped off last night. For perspective, my bumper has titanium mounting plates and titanium hardware, and basically an M8 flange nut, so a 13 millimeter outside diameter nut, had the flange ripped right off and pulled through a titanium plate. Now, titanium doesn't have a lot of lateral strength, but it's got a ton of axial strength. Sorry, these are like our Cantork engineering.
I was going to say, it sounds like a commercial.
Axial, a straight line. So to be able to rip titanium through titanium, it'll give you an idea of how much of a situation that was. But yeah, I mean, it was another great night. In my class, I took the pole. I P1 in all 3 heats, plus put the fastest lap. So that's a couple extra bonus points. Unofficially, I haven't seen the updated numbers, but just kind of doing a rough calculation, I should have moved into P1 in our yearly championship. So we run 14 races, but only our best 10 count. So I've been kind of behind most of the drivers. I had a 0 and I had an 88 point, where like a really good night is like 215. So my 0's dropped off. Now my 88 will drop off. So just kind of taking a rough calculation of what my P2 competitor put up versus what I did. I should have a couple of points, and then we've only got 2 races left to go. So as long as I can keep my body work on, I can keep the rubber side down. I think it's looking okay. But like we started this segment, you got to be ready for the highs and the lows, and anything can happen. So I mean, there's mechanical issues, there's other driver errors, there's there's locusts, there's hail, there's you never know. So
that's why we love sport, though, right? Anything can happen.
You absolutely never know what's going to happen. You maybe think you do. And, we've got a lot of sponsors on the wall in this station for people who like to believe they know what's going to happen. But 2 more weeks, and then our karting season's over. We've got this weekend off for our professional stuff, but then we do 3 weekends in a row of NASCAR, and one of those weekends is a doubleheader with Radical. So by about the second week in September, I'll be ready to drop dead.
And well, hopefully number 1, right?
Hopefully number 1 in karting. I don't think we have a lot of. We might be able to wrap up a championship in Radical if the disqualification is upheld. That also means that that driver's points in the second race are gone, because they shouldn't have been where they were, so their results get voided. So there's a chance.
Well, how long does the appeal process take?
I don't know. We've never gone through this in this series. I believe they have to convene a board of FIA stewards who are impartial, but it's very, very, very unlikely that professional stewards would make a decision against the sanctioning body. Not to say that it's biased, but for them to make a decision like that, it would have to be overwhelmingly wrong. And I don't think a lot of people who aren't vested in the situation can take a look at it and say that, it was anything but, a pretty uncool move.
Okay. Lance texting in, if rubbing isn't racing, then I no longer want to live in this world.
Put your helmet on. I'll see you on Wednesday night, Lance.
Let's do it. Lance also was, he had a question for the cheer team. Why do they never shoot t-shirts in my direction? I didn't know they shot t-shirts.
I haven't been to a game in so long.
Mackenzie's
I don't
saying
know.
they do. Okay, Lance, tell me your section. Next watch party, I'll talk to them. We'll make it happen.
And, without that attitude, I still have a couple of friends over at the Elks. We could probably, arrange that. But, this rubbing is racing. You not even put on your helmet, but open up your checkbook and, cover the cost for one night of damage. Like, when you start forking over hundreds and thousands of dollars for a go-kart to get it repaired because of somebody else's situation, the rubbing is racing is that goes away pretty quick. I can assure you.
They should have to pay for it.
It's never the way.
That should
It's never the way. I mean, on paper, yes, but we all make mistakes, and that's all part of it. It's not to say that stuff can't happen, but we have a couple of repetitive offenders that when people keep making the same mistakes and never seem to learn, that's where we need to start putting our foot down. And there's a lot of behind the scenes conversation between our executive and our senior drivers to say, like, look, this is like, we're so far out of control right now. We have to start imposing stricter penalties. Like, people have to start getting suspended, and there has to be a tangible consequence for some of these careless actions.
I would think so.
Yep.
One day. Colin, thanks for doing this.
Love it, man.
Are you back next week?
Yes, sir.
Hey, we'll do it
I'll
all
be
over
here.
again. And I'll make sure the Sherbrooke boys leave something for you this time.
There's still a couple of samplers over at the main store that I just need to get by that, obviously they know I like the tequila. So it's just been a little bit crazy the last couple of weeks. So I promised Mr. Owens that I'll get over there sooner versus later.
The time is coming. That is Colin Livingston, Cantork Racing Report, brought to you by Cantork. Check them out, cantork.com. Lots to get to still. Ryan Holt going to join us, the voice of the Bakersfield Condors. We've got the roundtable, 5 questions. Spec Eric Taylor will join us, talk some Winnipeg Blue Bombers, plus Cam Tate's 2-minute warning. So much to get to. But first, the Sports 1440 update with Declan Kruger, brought to you by Hire Good. We solve real problems for businesses while creating real impact. We reduce issues on your property, keep spaces safe, and take pressure off your team. Go to hiregood.ca. Hire Good, stable jobs, create stable lives.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
CPKC Women's Open down at the Royal Mayfair Club. Miyu Yamashita currently leads the field at 8 under. Nasa Hatakoa second at 7 under. And 2 Canadians tied for third, Anna Huang and Michelle Jing at 5 under. MLB Finals from today saw the Jays over the Rays 5-1. Other games around the league was the Cards over the Reds 10-9. Guardians over the Giants 5-2. Royals over the A's 6-2. Brewers on the Mariners 7-4. And the Braves blanking the White Sox in a makeup game from June 11th 2-0. One game right now delayed in the top of the first at the Yankees and the Orioles tied at 0-0. Nats and Rangers at 6:05, and then Angels Astros at 6:10. CFL Week 12 will get going tonight with the Ottawa Redblacks and Montreal Alouettes in Montreal. The line for that one currently minus 14.5 for the 8-1 Alouettes as the 0-9 Redblacks look for their first win on the season. And in the sporting world, James Harden did sign a 3-year, $97 million extension today with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Finally, Edmonton Oilers to play 2 games in Cologne, Germany, Leon Draisaitl's hometown in 27-28. I'm Declan Kruger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
1440, Stingray Radio Station. CKJR. Broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Wondering what you can afford? Let Go Auto do the math with our free car loan calculator. No pressure, no awkward convos, just quick answers on your budget and payments. Bad credit, no credit? We got you. Text CHECK to 780-777-7777. That's CHECK to 780 all 7. Find out what you qualify for and start shopping with confidence. Go Auto. Drive what you love with payments that make sense.
2006, we saw the launch of Twitter. JT was #1 with Sexy Back, and the corner of Jasper Ave and 118th was never the same.
On the Rocks. Celebrate 20 years of OTR.
Friday, September 18th.
With Whale and the Wolf. Whale and the Wolf.
20 years of music and memories.
20 years of On the Rocks.
Friday, September 18th. Get in early. Jasper Ave and 118th.
Want sports talk on the go?
You can listen to 1440 on the AM dial or stream us on your mobile device through apps like Radio Player, iHeart, and Stingray Music.
Edmonton sports fans,
turn to Sports 1440.
1440.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at EdmontonExpoCenter.com today.
I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. The goal of every one of the thousands of hair restoration procedures I've performed is a full, natural-looking head of hair. I work directly with my patients for the consultation, the procedure, and the follow-up, so we can achieve the best results possible. When people see what we accomplish, I don't want them to think,
"Wow, great hair transplant."
I want them to think,
Wow, great hair.
go to drvanceelliott.com and contact us today.
Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete and septic tanks to blocks, precast water pads, Jersey barriers and aggregates. Farmers, contractors, homeowners. Plan your next project at BashawConcrete.com. Family owned, over 60 years pouring. Bashaw Concrete Products. Once again, start here. BashawConcrete.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Elks Nation. Check out elksnation.ca, articles, podcasts, and more breaking down the green and the gold. Most in-depth double-E football coverage online, elksnation.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show with guest host Connor Halley. This is Sports 1440.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Me and you went to the end, but I guess I was wrong.
Welcome back. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. The Gregor specials today, Thursday night football. How about the Owls to cover the spread, 13.5 points, and Philpott over 100 yards receiving. You can check out Dex Selects. He's got the Fever, the Aces, and the Dream to get the job done, plus the late night game in MLB. It's not really a late night. They're the 6 o'clock games. There's none later. We're going to go with the Astros and the Rangers to get the job done. Check it out. PlayAlberta.ca. Remember to use your game sense. Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, Mackenzie McLennan with you here. Text lines 1-833-401-1440. Right now, we are going to get to the round table. Brought to you by Go Auto, who's donated more than $27.2 million to local charities and takes pride in supporting the communities where they live and do business. GoAuto.ca. Which one of you fine individuals would like to go first today? Any volunteers? Declan?
You want me to kick things off?
Yeah, let's do it.
So, Connor and Mackenzie, I was thinking the other day about superstars in sports and like superstars in North American sports here. And as I was, kind of going through the list in my head and thinking about things, and I'm open to discussion on this one. That's why it's the round table. Sometimes I come to these with what I feel is like a set in stone take. And then we go about it that way. This one, I'm a little more open to discussion, but Caitlin Clark, man, I think there's only 5 athletes in North American sports more popular than her. I think you're looking at LeBron, Steph. I'm talking active athletes, by the way. LeBron, Steph, I think Pat Mahomes, Travis Kelce now, and Shohei. And I really think that's the list. Like, she has put an entire league on the map. She had 30 million people tuning in to watch the University of Iowa women's basketball team's games during March Madness. She's transcended a league. She has, if you ask anyone to name, a WNBA player, she's going to be the name that comes off of probably 99 out of 100 tongues, if not 100 out of 100. And when you really think about superstars that exist in the league today, I think Caitlin Clark kind of exists in a tier with those other names that I mentioned.
Are we talking just North America?
Yes, because globally, it's the conversation opens up a little bit. But
yeah,
just North America. Yeah,
I mean, I would say, because I was just looking into it, like just as one thing to look at, Instagram followers. Ronaldo, Messi. There's only one North American athlete in the top 10. That's LeBron James. Mm-hmm. So obviously he's going to be kind of the mecca. He's been doing it for so long as well. He has that advantage. I would agree with you. And it's a lot of it is just kind of how they're portrayed in the media, they being athletes. The ones get a lot of coverage, and, the common sport fan kind of gets to be, I don't know, just get more engaged by them, and they want to watch them. And I think that was Caitlin Clark, and you nailed it. Like, her at the collegiate level with what she did, breaking records, people were tuning in. Whatever WNBA team drafted her, all of a sudden, I think was going to start to skyrocket into top jersey sales because people just want to buy that. They want to buy the merch, the memorabilia. I mean, they were playing games in bigger arenas when she was coming to town. Now, part of that is some of them play in smaller arenas. Like you can't do that in the NFL when Patrick Mahomes comes to town. You can't just move it to a bigger stadium to increase revenue. So it's tough to do that. But yeah, Deck, and you know what? I think that's really cool. Like if Caitlin Clark is the gateway for a basketball fan to watch the league and then see some of these other players that are, maybe the higher up when it comes to the MVP candidates, the best players in the league. Wilson comes to mind for that one. I think that's great. So I would say so. Because when you think and you just throw those leagues around and you say name a player from that league, although the WNBA right now doesn't have that popularity, as soon as you say the WNBA, I think that's where, like you say, 99% of people are probably going to go to her.
Yeah, I can't really argue with you at all, Declan, because like you guys have said a couple times already, like you asked somebody to name either a female athlete or somebody from the WNBA. Caitlin Clark, her name is the first one that comes out of everybody's mouth. I do think it's a little unfair how the media drags her into everything that is going on in the WNBA, because she strikes me as somebody that would most of these athletes would probably prefer to just talk about the game and what performance was like and that kind of thing. But obviously there's a lot more other things going on in the WNBA. But she has transcended the league and is a pinnacle for women's sports. So it's hard to not support her and want to get behind it.
Yeah. And I think just kind of naturally, and we've talked about that cycle in sports where I used the Kansas City Chiefs when they were playing the Patriots back in, pre-COVID, everybody was rooting for them. They were kind of the underdog. And then they complete that cycle where they become the dominant team in the NFL. And with the supporters also comes the haters. And I think Caitlin Clark at times becomes a victim of that as well, because people will say, oh, she's put up on this pedestal. She's the face of the league. And what has she done? I'm going to take it out on her now. Well, she didn't do anything. She's just trying to play her game. But yeah, and Deck, if we were to go back a couple of years and you said to me, name some WNBA players, I would have known Sabrina Ionescu. She was kind of what I thought was the next big thing before we got to Caitlin Clark. Brittany Griner would have been known. Kia Nurse. Skylar Diggins. She was pretty good at Notre Dame and made the jump to the pros, but I'm just listing off the team that I supported, the Phoenix Mercury back then. So I don't know. It's a good point, but I do think with her popularity, like all these other kind of top athletes, she also probably gets a lot of undue criticism as well.
Also, really quick too, if you were to ask people across Canada if they knew who Caitlin Clark was, most people would probably say yes. And if you go to the random places in the States, none of them really know who Connor McDavid is. So I think that also kind of puts into perspective how big Caitlin Clark actually is and the WNBA and how much it's grown.
MTR says, who's the lady with the annoying popcorn meme? Kelsey Plum?
Kelsey Plum.
Rocket arm she has, though. Married Darren Waller, divorced. Now she is with the Mercury, but I'm not. That's not my team anymore. 1-833-401-1440. Tiger says, I've never heard Caitlin say the wrong thing. I would agree. She's probably in the same vein of.
She doesn't really say a lot.
She doesn't, fair. But Connor McDavid.
Yeah, you don't know exactly. The media trainedness.
Yeah. I'm not going to say anything polarizing because it's not going to help me. Some will praise me, some will hate me. Look at Sophie right now. She's good. Some love her now, some hate her. Half those people don't even watch her. They just hop on the bandwagon and go with the political views. But yeah, she really doesn't say a whole lot. Deck, good one. Yeah. Mackenzie, what are you feeling today?
All right. So the Global Series has been announced for this upcoming season.
27-28.
27-28. Okay. Also, just going to say it, the way they announced it, confusing. Very confusing. you would think the NHL would have people that write press releases and can get their point across easily. But I love the Global Series. I think it's awesome. The NHL has good ideas, but they don't always market them properly because even last year with the Global Series, they were in Sweden, and I think it was New Jersey and Buffalo were there. Buffalo was there for sure. Nobody knew it was actually going on. And then there was just these random games on in the afternoon. And I think they could do a whole lot more if they actually did promos with the players when they're at home over the summer and actually talking to the fans in these places that they're going to, some boots on the ground, actual face-to-face interactions rather than just being this is the Global Series and that's it. They don't push it enough towards us and towards the fans that they're trying to grow the game to.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And you make the best point about it. During the Global Series last year, I legitimately did not know the game was in Sweden until day of.
Yeah,
you know what
exactly.
I mean? And it's funny because the NHL, they seem to be a little bit more of a reserve league. The NFL is obviously king. They're very in your face with everything, but that's just because of how huge they are. The NBA, now I got a lot of problems with how the NBA goes about a lot of things, but they too, I feel will get pretty in your face about it, for better or worse, but I feel they'll be pretty in your face about it. The NHL is the complete opposite.
It's they're whispering in your ear
Yeah.
that it's there, but you're not really listening,
And I think a big thing for the NHL doesn't have any superstars with real personality. The closest they came was Evander Kane in 2012 taking a picture on that Vegas bridge. You know what I mean? And he just got crushed for it, and deservedly so, whatever.
PK Subban has a little personality.
PK Subban's got some personality on the desk now, though, obviously. And he had a little bit when he was playing, but even then it was it was almost more joyous fun. I don't know. I just feel that's something that factors into it as well. But to Mac's point, yeah, the marketing surrounding it could be or should be way better.
But with it, because you're going to have these guys in areas where they're comfortable, right? Peterka and Draisaitl are both from Germany. So getting them in areas where they go to all the time or just things that they're comfortable with, you're going to be able to see more personality. And that I think is where they always miss is they don't get these guys comfortable.
If we Leon has, you can tell he's got so much personality.
Yes.
If we could just unleash that a little bit instead of him having to be guarded because of his PR training he's had since he was 17 or whatever, we would open up a whole world of
every once in a while
insane quotes.
He does show it.
Yeah.
And when he's doing the fun social media stuff, that's where we see the most personality from him.
You can tell by Connor's old tweets too. He's got a little bit of personality.
Oh, for sure.
Hashtag Ryan Wang. Come on.
I don't want to go to school on Monday. Yeah, same, Connor. So relatable. So I just think they have good ideas, but they're 3 steps behind on the marketing perspective. And I'm just I know they make a lot of money. How do you miss on all of this stuff? So
I think another thing with the NHL is when they miss, I think they miss pretty big.
Oh, huge.
Right?
Huge.
I think they take small swings, but have big misses.
Yeah.
So just, do you guys get the PR, the emails from the NHL?
Mm-mm.
So
I get them from teams.
I do. They sent out the announcement for the games in Munich and Cologne at 2:45 a.m., which is fine because it's 10:45 in Munich and Cologne, but for North America, maybe wait. I don't want to wake up half asleep if I had my alerts on. They sent out the email for the Bayern Munich partnership at 4 a.m. Mountain Time. So, I woke up, I saw it half asleep. I'm oh, they're playing 2 games in Munich and Cologne, and it's Boston and Edmonton. That was my takeaway.
Yeah.
Then I have to look into it a little more oh, okay. So this is what's actually happening. They did do a little photo shoot with all the guys.
Draisaitl's holding his own jersey.
Yeah, I mean, hey, there's 3 of them. That was kind of funny. They couldn't have got another, player on Bayern Munich to come out for this one. I get that it's Alphonso Davies. And why is Davies not holding Draisaitl's jersey? He's from Edmonton. Anywho, my question for you guys would be then, what should they have done? Like, what do you think would have been a way to promote it? And I'm sure they're going to continue it because this is over a year away. But what do you think would be like the right press circuit here?
I've been thinking about this all day because I woke up and I saw it. And then I was like, they really miss on this every single time. And social media is the bulk of what I do here. So I would say like having somebody from the NHL going around Cologne, like talking to kids, fans, that kind of thing, and be like, what do you know about Leon Draisaitl? Do you follow the Oilers? Do you know who JJ Peterka is? Do you know who the Bruins are?
I do think if you get like 100 no's doing a video like that, though, all of a sudden it
you're
paints
gonna
your league
get
in
a
a bad
few, though.
light. Like, there's a way to make it fun, but if you're trying to like, put on this global series game there and there's no interest, which is like that's a possibility going doing these street interviews, which like also sending someone out there to do probably not cheap.
Market research, like, you know, and there is a fairly large Oilers fan base, at least in Cologne. Like, I'm using Cologne and Draisaitl a lot because
His hometown, right?
It's what we see the most. Like, a lot of people do follow the Oilers fairly closely. So like, go and talk to those people.
And like, to answer your question, Connor, just doing something besides just saying, this is what we're doing.
But devil's advocate, they're promoting it in Germany. They did the press conference to announce it. It's one day. What else do they need to do? It's Edmonton, maybe Oilers fans will buy tickets and go, but your goal is to sell tickets in Germany. It's a year away. Like, did you want like fireworks or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Honestly, like, there's not enough lead up to it, and then they announce it, and then there's nothing. So I think like doing one-on-ones with Peterka and Draisaitl would be huge. Being like, what does this mean to you? How do you want to grow the game in Germany? Like, what does this partnership mean? Like, that kind of thing will do so much more, and it'll get people in Germany involved as well as people here, because you're still going to be following it because it's your team and it's one of your favorite players and all of that. NHL, hire me because like I got ideas.
No.
Just kidding. kidding.
We cut this out of the podcast. We can't afford to lose Mackenzie here. KG says you could edit the nose out. You could do that for sure. Who's this guest? She's good. Well, that's Mackenzie. She does social media for us, Norm. She is good. She slides in here when I get to slide in. We all take a step to the left, and she jumps in. So you'll see more of her. Make sure you follow us on social media, and you'll see more and more of Mackenzie. We'll take a break. When we come back, more texts. Favorite Western movie? Text us 1-833-401-1440. We'll make sure we send one of you 2 pairs of tickets to the Elks Bombers game tomorrow. Coming up next, though, we will go to the farm, talk some Condors with the voice of the team, Ryan Holt. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Hi, I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. We've been tightening bolts and redefining our industry for 25 years. Yes, a quarter century, and we're just getting started. Check us out at cantork.com. Our tools age better than I do.
Action Electrical Solar Team is now making a play for sustainability and savings. They're specialists in powering up for a greener future.
That's the strategy, designing and installing high-efficiency solar panels. They're helping homes and businesses combat rising utility costs by harnessing the power of the sun.
A smart move for efficiency and the environment. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Yeah, it's me again. And if you're sidelined with a sports injury, you already know nothing's more frustrating than being told to just rest. At Leading Edge Physiotherapy, we get athletes moving sooner with our zero-gravity treadmills. You can run, train, and rebuild strength with up to 80% less body weight, so your injury heals while your confidence comes roaring back. When your sports injury's yelling, whisper back, leadingedgephysio.com, because life shouldn't hurt.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is serious about cooling. In fact, we offer multiple ways to cool your home. So you better
call Legacy. Call Legacy.
If you're looking for traditional air conditioning, we got you.
Call Legacy.
Or ask us about a heat pump to help you heat and cool.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy. Legacy.
Cool with AC or cool with a heat pump. Cool your home with Legacy Heating and Cooling.
No fluff, no fillers, just pure entertainment. Sports 1440 brings the heat with bold opinions, big personalities, and Edmonton's fiercest fans. This is your turf. This is Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440.
Tee up for a great day on the course and support the Stony Plain Eagles Senior Men's Hockey Club. It's the Stony Plain Eagles Golf Tournament. Gather your foursome and join the Eagles August 25th at the Links at Spruce Grove for a 2 p.m. shotgun start. Enjoy a fantastic afternoon of golf, great company, and friendly competition, all while supporting the Stony Plain Eagles. Get all the details and register today at stonyplaineagles.com.
Crispy caramelized edges, a pillowy, airy center. Meet the new Papa John's Pan Pizza. Made with Parmesan and Romano cheeses, Papa John's special garlic sauce, and Italian seasoning, all baked directly into the bottom of the crust for a signature golden finish and crispy, savory crunch. Grab a medium pan pizza for just $16.99 today at your local Papa John's. Order now in the app or at papajohns.ca. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Ford employee pricing is on now, and you pay what we pay on virtually our entire lineup of Ford vehicles. Visit your Alberta Ford store today.
Missioner Allen Auctioneering's next Calgary, Edmonton, Winnipeg Public Unreserved Heavy Truck Auction is next Thursday at 9 a.m. featuring triaxle, tandem, single-axle trucks, including cab and chassis, decks, diggers, dumps, pickers, tractors, vacs, and service trucks. Info at maauctions.com.
Is your business ready to grow? Not sure how? We have your solution. We are Stingray. Whether your customers are around the corner or across the country, Stingray connects you with radio to digital advertising, including connected TV, search and social, programmatic, digital advertising, and digital out of home. From idea to execution, we've got you covered. With creative and production, cross-platform integration, detailed reporting, and one-on-one support, it's the easy way to make your business grow. Get started now at stingraymediasolutions.com.
Tap into the fun of Play Alberta's most popular casino games. From the fast-paced spins of Cash Eruption to the retro thrills of Sevens Wild, online excitement is always at your fingertips. Spin through your choice of popular slots or discover Alberta-exclusive games you won't find anywhere else. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Want to invest in Alberta's workforce, fill your talent pipeline, and get funding? Careers, the next generation connects employers with motivated, pre-vetted youth through funded internships. Easy, impactful, and risk-free.
When you work with a group like Careers who have experience in that area, they can demystify and navigate all the complex steps and stakeholders that have to be involved.
Visit careersnextgen.ca today.
Guys, there never seems to be enough time in the day, but you need to make time for this. Ken Franchek here. If you're 40 or over, a quick PSA blood test is crucial for early prostate cancer detection. The Prostate Cancer Center's Man Van is a mobile health clinic driving change for men's health. A few minutes could save your life. To get the Man Van out to your business or event, book today at getcheck.ca.
School's almost out, and road trip season is just around the corner. If your brakes sound like they're grinding harder than a hockey fourth liner, it might be time to visit Napa Auto Parts. Napa has all the quality parts, tools, and know-how to help keep your vehicle running smoothly and road ready. With over 85 locations in Alberta, visit your local Napa store today or shop online at napacanada.com. That's Napa know-how.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. OTR is celebrating 20 years on Jasper Ave. Join them Friday, September 18th to celebrate 2 decades of fun with Whale and the Wolf on stage. Book your table at ontherocks.com.
I 427, welcome back. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Of course, today, the Daily Grand. Tomorrow, 55 million with Lotto Max. And today, the Jason Gregor Show specials. Every day, actually. Boosted. Go check it out. PlayAlberta.ca. Remember to use your game sense. Of course, we're here on the AM dial. You can watch us on YouTube at Sports 1440 AM, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch. And if you want to listen online, tune in, iHeartRadio, Radio Player Canada, and of course, our website. Lots to get to still here on the show. We are going to talk some Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Also, Spec will join us. And there's a few more things we will be eventually getting into. We are doing our little topic of the day, your favorite Western movie. If you text us at 1-833-401-1440, you got a chance to win 2 tickets to tomorrow night's Elks game as they take on the Bombers. Commonwealth Field, 7:30 kickoff. We'll do that again tomorrow as well. So if you don't win today, you will have a chance tomorrow, but you got to be listening to the Jason Gregor Show. Right now, we'll go around the NHL, brought to you by McDonald's. The most wanted menu items from around the world have landed in Canada. Now the McDonald's World Menu Heist at select restaurants. Hurry in before we have to give them back, only at McDonald's as we head down to Bakersfield. Going to take a little look at the Condors with the voice of the team, Ryan Holt. Ryan, good afternoon. How are things going?
Good afternoon, Connor. I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing really good. Thanks. How's your summer been?
Good. It's hot here in Bakersfield still, so it's still very much summer down here. And but yeah, it is good to be talking some hockey, and we get our promotional schedule coming out here pretty soon. So we're getting close to the guys arriving and getting this thing back underway.
Now, the promotional schedule, junior hockey we see here in Edmonton with the Oil Kings, they have some fun ones. We've got a baseball team, the Riverhawks, that do a really good job with it. This is one of the questions I thought about asking, and since you mentioned it, I will. Have you had a favorite promo night in your time with the Condors?
I do. It's a personal one. It didn't really drive ticket revenue, but it drove publicity. We did it in 2013, one of my first years with the team. We did a Seinfeld night. We wore the Seinfeld puppy shirt from, the show that I watched, I think, every day growing up, after school. And we had players draft characters and actually wore those as the name bars. So guys were Jerry and George and Kramer and Steinbrenner and Assman, and it was fun. So we enjoyed it. The Low Talker actually came out and did some stuff with us as well too. So pretty fun one that we did. That was way back in the heyday of Condors marketing. We've tamed a little bit. We still have a lot of fun, but we've tamed a little bit.
Did you guys do the Elaine dance-off by any chance? Because I've seen Major League Baseball.
We did the dance-off. We shot a marble rye across the ice. And yeah, like I said, the Low Talker actually reached out to us, who obviously invented the puppy shirt. She actually came out and did some interviews and media and some community work for us. And she had a blast doing it, and she just did it because she saw the promotion.
Oh, that is awesome. That would be a good one for sure. This season upcoming, there's a lot of questions and a lot of Oilers fans in regards to some players that spent time down with the Condors last season. And I don't think any bigger than Isaac Howard. Obviously, with the Condors in 47 games played, he was over a point per game. He had the 24 goals. And a lot of Oilers fans kind of penciling him in to that top 6 with the big club this season. So I wanted to get you on to just kind of discuss what you saw from him, the growth, and do you think he's ready to become a full-time NHLer?
Yeah, I would put him on the same path as a Matt Savoy, right? And this is kind of the path of, first round picks, that come in, highly heralded, decorated, in Ike's case, college career, in Savvy's case, junior career. And he comes in, Hobey Baker Award winner, and a lot of intrigue with him. And I thought, he had a fantastic first season. Should he probably have been in Bakersfield the entire year? Maybe. But I thought that, his time in the American Hockey League will serve him well. I think he, is a guy who he played in all situations with us, which I think is key for him moving forward, right? Because you're not going to obviously be handed that special teams time. And that's something that Savoy saw. That's something that Dylan Holloway saw in the past. And you can go back to, Kylie Yamamoto and finding ways to get yourself, noticed with the big club and then earning those bigger minutes as the year progresses. Really coachable, kid, a guy who, has all the flair in the world, has all the personality in the world that, I enjoy being around. These guys live, eat, and breathe hockey. I'm putting him in the, with our class with Hudson and Mariala. I mean, all they do is think and breathe the game. So I think he's a guy who's going to obviously push for significant NHL time this year. Is it a straight line? No, it's probably not a straight line. But Savoy isn't a straight line, and Holloway wasn't a straight line. So, for Howard, the defensive side of his game is always going to be the 30,000 foot view question for him. I think he improved as the year went on. With his awareness, his offensive skill, his skating is at the NHL level. That is going to translate, I think, right? I think goal scorers can score at all levels that they've been shown that he can score at. I have no doubt that he can score at the NHL level eventually as well, too. How soon does that come? We'll wait and see. But, he's definitely certainly a guy who, I think his arrows were pointing up by the end of the year. And that's all you can ask for, guys.
Absolutely. And, we heard those stories, right, when it came to Matthew Savoy about how he went down there and the mindset was to improve the entirety of this game, not just the offensive side. That's why he was drafted, but to go out there and get in on the PK. And it translated very quick, and the coaching staff trusted him. And now kind of a fresh slate here now for Isaac Howard when he gets up to the NHL. Another guy who I think a lot of people do have high hopes for is Josh Szymanski. And I don't know if we thought the rise would be as quick as it was, but when he came to Edmonton, it found like he kind of found his spot there on the fourth line, and I think he'll get that opportunity once again. Were you surprised at all with how quickly he made his way to the NHL?
No, this was a guy that if you were talking to me, at this time last year, I would have had to probably be on my phone and figure out who he was at that point, because it felt like everybody showed up at training camp and you kind of heard about Leppinen, Marjala, Szymanski, didn't really know anything about them, until they actually got here. But talk about a kid who's mature beyond his years. I say kid, he's 21 years old, 22 years old, but, he, again, personable, gets it, understands the game. He was born to be a hockey player, right? And, I think his year last year, the confidence grew with every game, right? And, he ended up, centering our top line and, had kind of a kid line there with Hudson and with Howard at times, and just a really coachable kid who ends up, in the NHL probably sooner than most thought he would be there. Ends up going to represent Germany with the Olympic team. I just think it's a great story. It's a great success story because, again, for the management group, they're going to have to hit on non-first round picks because, a lot of the first and second rounders have already been dealt. That's the hand they're playing, and that's a fine hand to play. But when you do that, you have to hit on some of the Szymanskis, some of the Marjalas, the Leppinens, trade for an Ike Howard, get a guy here earlier than what, O'Reilly was going to get there. I think that's an astute way about going about it. And I think, they've done a great job of procuring, some European players who, like I said, nobody really knew anything about. And all of a sudden, they're having at least impactful seasons that have given them a chance to, be a recall or make the team out of camp.
Yeah, you really saw that shift with Stan Bowman trying to find talent elsewhere, and Szymanski appears to be a pretty good find as we're looking at the Condors. With the voice of the team, Ryan Holt, here on the Jason Gregor Show, Connor Halley sitting in, a player who they did draft a couple seasons ago. He was their top pick, was Bo Akey, and did appear in 42 games last season with the Condors, a first year of pro. So, of course, there's going to be growing pains. What are you expecting from him in year two?
Yeah, I want Bo to be a healthy Bo Akey for the entirety of the season. I would expect him to be, in Bakersfield for the entire year, and I would expect him to, take on an important role, for this team, moving forward. That's the goal for this year, right? To be talking about Bo Akey going into year three, I think, having a healthy season, having a productive season, and having a season in which you can go into training camp next year, being a guy who, could be recalled. He, I thought, was very good middle portion of the season. He was a plus player. He was impactful on the blue line. He found a little bit of offensive flair as well, too. And then he took a puck to the face in kind of a freak accident off the bench, sidelined him for about, 3-4 weeks, came back and never really was the same type of aggressive player that he was pre-injury, I think. He's a slender, defenseman. He can skate, he can pass the puck, he can move it quick. Him and Carfagna are, kind of the same ilk in that regard. So I'm looking for Bo to have a healthy season, a season where, he can feel good about himself throughout the entirety of the year. He's got a couple of veterans back there that he can lean on. But, guys like Iggy, we've seen that mold now of what, this management group wants, right? They want skill, they want offensive ability, they want puck movers, they want guys that can, distribute the puck more so than the big bruising type of defenseman. And that's what you're seeing from, the draft picks, but also from guys they've signed, over the last couple of years.
Between the pipes for the Oilers, obviously they kind of rebuilt that goaltenders room. Tristan Jarry, the lone hang around Freddie Anderson, fresh off a Stanley Cup win, coming over from the Carolina Hurricanes. They also acquire Devin Levi. So the goalies down in Bakersfield, they're going to be down there for the long haul, it would appear, unless something big happens. What are your expectations for the goaltending group as a whole?
Yeah, I always say it kind of worked itself out, right? But this is a group that, has Matt Tompkins, obviously a veteran, 31 years old, and you know what you're going to get from Matt Tompkins, right? He's going to be, a 915 American Hockey League steady goaltender. He's a consummate pro who shows up and does it the right way each and every day, and I know that, there's talks with, playing young kids and veterans, but you need, some steady presences in some key positions as well, too. And it's not like, the American Hockey League schedule, a guy is going to play 72 games. It's not going to happen, right? You're going to get 30 to 35 starts from each guy if you have a tandem. Behind Tompkins, you have likely Connor Unger, a guy who, was in the mix last year, with Janssen and with Day, and didn't even find a spot in Fort Wayne, and ends up having to go to 3 different ECHL teams just to kind of continue to get noticed and continue to get reps. And all of a sudden he comes up to the American Hockey League, and, in his, limited time, right, I think it was 15 starts, he was terrific, right? Had a couple of shutouts, set our all-time saves record in the game with 54, one game as well, too, against Abbotsford. Confident kid, positionally sound, makes the save, right? And he's been doubted his entire life, it appears, right? From Red Deer to, U Sports to getting to the pros and having to sign contracts. I'm happy they brought him back because he's a confident kid and I think can blossom with more seasoning as well, too, in the future. And then, Nathaniel Day, you got Emil Vinny, who has had some injuries last couple of years and, was a highly touted, draft pick when they drafted him a couple of seasons ago. And Sam Janssen as well, too, is in the mix, too. So we'll see how it all kind of shakes out. But, yeah, you have 5 netminders, and there's only 1 net in the American Hockey League. So we'll see how it all works out.
Ryan, we only have this one segment, so I can't ask you too many questions about every single player. I would like to. So let me just say this. Outside of the players we've talked about, what are a couple names Oilers fans should watch out for? Exciting players, maybe some guys who, hey, if worst case happens, they could make a push for the NHL lineup.
Yeah, I mean, Viljami Marjala is going to take on a huge role for this team, right? We lost James Hamlin, who, was a backbone down the middle for this group for a number of years. If Josh Szymanski graduates full time, that leaves Marjala as really your last returning centerman for a very key position, right? A group that, is going to need to, be strong down the middle. They bring in Edward Trailmarks from Detroit's organization. He scored 30 goals last year in Grand Rapids. He's expected to kind of fill the Hamlin, Yarventi void and be a call-up option potentially as well, too, a little bit of an older option. But I'm excited to see Owen Michaels as well, too, right? This is a guy they've invested, a lot of money into. He's making a pretty significant American Hockey League salary for a rookie. He's going to make a significant salary next year as well, too, on a one-way. I would pencil him probably down the middle as well, too. And he's a guy who, if he can have a strong rookie season, if he can have a strong year in the American Hockey League, you'll be talking about him come, Christmas or, come Valentine's Day of an option later on in the season. So, Michaels and Marjala, I think, are 2 guys down the middle that, if they're successful, the Condors will be successful. And I think, the Oilers will have options here moving forward.
Awesome. Great rundown, Ryan. Really appreciate it. Before you know it, I'll be texting you for player requests. So thanks for the time and enjoy the rest of the summer.
Absolutely. Can't wait. Thanks for having me on.
There you go. Ryan Holt, the voice of the Bakersfield Condors here on the Jason Gregor Show. And it's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, we're enjoying the summer, but preseason hockey less than a month away. So just remember, enjoy this while you can. Get out golfing while you can. Get out to those patios, the lake, whatever it might be. Because before you know it, the sun's going to be going down a little earlier. And sports will be on every night that you want to make sure you're locked into. Oilers. CFL's ramping up. We got the Oil Kings will be getting going. NFL, it's going to be awesome. Cannot wait. Continue the text coming in here, 1-833-401-1440. The question asked was very simple. Favorite Western movie? You do that, and then all of a sudden, you got a chance to win 2 tickets to the Elks and Bombers tomorrow night when they meet down at Commonwealth. Hacksaw says, "Con, The Good, the Bad, the Ugly is a wicked film. As for humorous, Blazing Saddles. Blazing Saddles has to be the king." Yeah, I mean, I've heard a lot of good things about that one. Maybe that's the next one I tune into, but keep those texts rolling in here. We'll do that giveaway before the end of the show, and be ready. Be ready to send us back your email so we can transfer you those tickets. We'll take a break here. When we come back, we've got 5 questions with Declan Kruger. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
From the first pitch to the final out, catch Toronto Blue Jays baseball games live right here. Don't miss a moment of Blue Jays baseball this season. Sports 1440 is proud to be the home of Blue Jays baseball.
Kickoff is coming August 21st. Elks, Blue Bombers at Play Alberta Field at Commonwealth Stadium. It's Country Night presented by Innova. Dust off that Canadian tuxedo and bring the hockey talk to the field. Get your tickets at goelks.com/tickets.
Need an excuse to upgrade your ride? Well, we got a few to share. Go Auto has over 18,000 new and used vehicles ready to test drive right now. With more than 70 locations, your perfect match could be closer than you think. A family-friendly SUV for soccer practice, a fuel-sipping commuter, or a hardworking truck that's ready for anything. Trusted brands and a team that's actually happy to help. Explore thousands of vehicles today at goauto.ca.
Are you a skilled laborer? All-Star Construction wants to talk to you. A heavy equipment operator with trackhoe or backhoe experience, All-Star Construction wants to talk to you, too. With work in and around Edmonton for local land developers, All-Star Construction offers year-round employment. Whether it's power, gas, or telecom,
Development procedures I've performed is a full, natural-looking head of hair. I work directly with my patients for the consultation, the procedure, and the follow-up, so we can achieve the best results possible. When people see what we accomplish, I don't want them to think, "Wow, great hair transplant." I want them to think,
"Wow, great hair."
Go to drvanceelliott.com and contact us today.
School's almost out, and road trip season is just around the corner. But if your brakes sound like they're grinding harder than a hockey fourth liner, it might be time to visit Napa Auto Parts. Napa has all the quality parts, tools, and know-how to help keep your vehicle running smoothly and road ready. With over 85 locations in Alberta, visit your local Napa store today or shop online at napacanada.com. That's Napa know-how.
Portions of this hour brought to you by the Nation Golf Tournament. Friday, August 28th, 2026 at Millwoods Golf Course with golf, drinks, swag, food, and fun. Every swing supports Gregor's grads and helps graduates shine on graduation day. Sign up at nationexperiences.ca before it sells out.
The Jason Gregor Show with guest host Connor Halley. This is Sports 1440.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
That's what Declan said he was. She's not.
46, welcome back. It is the Jason Gregor Show, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, Mackenzie McLennan coming to you live from the Sports 1440 studios in West Edmonton Mall. Bob says The Unforgiven. Just sounds like an awesome title. Also, Joe, Three Amigos with Steve Martin. I mean, that counts. Blair says Brokeback Mountain. That's Sean Brown's favorite movie, apparently. That went out there once. Critically acclaimed, so not the worst answer, but he hadn't seen the movie, actually. Text line is 1-833-401-1440 if you'd like to get in on the talk of the day. Favorite Western movie? We're giving away a pair of tickets to tomorrow's Elks and Bombers game. Let us know yours. 1-833-401-1440. Right now, we'll get to 5 questions with Declan Kruger, brought to you by The Brick. The sleep sale is on now. Save 40% on the Sealy Crown Jewel Resort mattress. Get sheets starting at just $49 and buy one pillow, get the second for just $10 only at The Brick and thebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
Okay, Connor, question number 1. Down at the Royal Mayfair CPKC Women's Open going on, who is your pick to win?
I mean, I want to be a biased person here and represent our country well and hope that we get it done. Huang is right in there as a zing. You know, let's take someone who's a little bit out and has a little ways to go, but only 5 strokes back. And you know what? It might be the popular answer, but I think Brooke Henderson's going to get it done.
I like it.
5 strokes back. What do you think, Dick?
I'm going to say Nelly Korda, number 1 in the CME rankings, also 5 back. So plenty of time to get up there. Not much ground to gain. I'll say her, or I'll roll with the Canadian and I'll say Michelle Zhang gets it done.
Nice.
Question number 2. What are your thoughts on James Harden's 3-year, $97 million extension?
My thoughts are I'm going to go home with Benny and we're going to work on basketball. We're going to work on getting his shot up. I'm going to teach him to use his left and his right hand. Teach him the good fundamentals and how to play defense that he'll probably need to overcome his stature if he gets my height. You know what? If you want to pay the guy you feel that's his worth, who am I to say, what to do? At 36 years old, my thoughts are like that seems a little steep. But last season, still averaging just under 24 points a game, 8 assists. Guy can still hoop. So if they believe that he is a key contributor and a necessity for them going into the upcoming season and, they want to keep him there for the long haul, why not? Go for it. Fill your boots, as they say. But now, more importantly, Deck, what do you think?
Yeah, I like it. Well, actually, I don't know if I like it. I get it, is how I'll say. I'll get it. I was looking at it. It's like it's going to work out to like 29, 34, 33 or something like that, and then change a little bit. So not a huge cap hit by NBA standards. He's obviously going to be 40 or close to 40 when that deal runs out. You're probably never really paying him for what he's going to do in the playoff, but you're going to stay competitive in the regular season. So I understand it from Cleveland's perspective. And if you're James Harden, you kind of thought you were going to get a big contract in Brooklyn that never came. And now you've kind of had a bit of a resurgence and you're cashing in on that. So credit to him.
Do you think he finishes that contract in Cleveland?
I'll say no, but I don't think anywhere else is really a good landing spot.
He's just got to finish it out there. All right.
Question number 3. Where do you come out on joint practices in the NFL?
I guess I like them. I think that they're a good idea. You hear just how training camp gets so stale going up against the same team every day. And you want to be a little more careful in those practices against your own team because you don't want anyone to get hurt. I still think in the joint practices, there is that element of let's save it for the game because typically you are going to go head to head. Chargers, Niners had their joint practices. They're going to play tonight down at SoFi. So I like them. I do feel, because I know a lot of times that we've heard it and coaches will say I don't need my starter to play in the preseason because we play in these joint practices and we have these scripted scrimmages. I don't necessarily buy that because I still think there is something to getting out there in the preseason and making sure you get played. You play and do your routine, your game day routine leading up into it and just kind of simulating what would go into a regular season game. So I'm a fan of them. I think they're kind of cool. Content wise, you always get good stuff out of it, but I don't think it's equivalent to a preseason game. Mm-hmm. Are you a fan?
My thing is a little more along the lines of isn't that what the preseason is for?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It gives us some great content, no doubt. I get practicing against you. Your same guys can be stale. But I just kind of go you have the preseason for a reason. The preseason can be more along the lines of a joint practice than a regular season game. Not totally, because you obviously still got to get in there and you got to feel the game a little bit. The tackling has to be there. But I don't know. I've never loved it.
If I was a franchise that had a world-class facility, one of the nicer ones, I'd be looking at upcoming free agents and be inviting those teams for a joint practice. Come see how nice we have it. Come take a look. If I'm the Cincinnati Bengals, I'm probably not doing it, but hey, you know what? If some of the Niners see what's going on at the Chargers facility. Maybe they want to join us next season. I'm not opposed to it, so it's interesting.
Question number 4. Would you rather see NHL or NFL expansion to Europe?
Neither would be my thing. I'm so against it, and I feel very negative doing it like that. I just think there's no point. I don't understand why we decide to go to Europe. Like, it just complicates things even more so. And I've heard the arguments, well, you know, an LA to New York flight, it's the same distance. Okay, if you're an East Coast team, yeah. But if you're from Edmonton and you have to fly to Europe to play 4 games, then you fly back, like, jet lag is a real thing, even with the upgrades in sleep science. So I would say neither. But if I'm picking one, NFL, because you play 1 game a week. You could schedule it, but I think you need at least 2 teams to make it worth it to go over there, play them back to back. And then you could have a bye week afterwards. The NHL bye week, heck. And it kind of sucks because I know players want to make sure they go on vacation, but I think that the NFL would make it a little more feasible. You?
I more lean towards the NHL just because I think hockey is, like, it makes more sense for hockey to be in Europe than American football. And I also just think, like, it's not great either way, don't get me wrong, but I just think logistically for the NFL, it's so much worse. Because, like, are you relocating one team? I mean, then the travel is crazy. Or if you add 4 teams and have them play like some super condensed schedule against each other, what does that do to the rest of the conferences? Then do you have to like add 8 teams? Well, now all of a sudden we're really watering down the league. Not that the talent isn't out there, but it's just one concern. So I tend to lean NHL, but I agree. I don't really love either. And finally, question number 5. This was your question, actually, but I love it. So what is on your Mount Rushmore of wing flavors?
Great question, Declan. Well, you asked for the Mount Rushmore, and you did your liner, and I was just like running through categories. I also said dinosaurs and all sorts of things. I can't do hot stuff, so it makes it a little bit tougher for me to make my selection. My go-to is barbecue. I think barbecue is always really good. Salt and pepper would be another one that I don't necessarily mind. One of the pizza places in town has a golden crispy, which is just plain. And I actually really like those because you just can dip them in whatever sauce it might be, a little bit of ranch or something like that. And other than that, I don't know. I guess I'm like places that really elaborate on what you get, like a sweet chili or just a Cajun. If they have those, I can handle those. So those would be the top 4 for me. But I will say, unpopular opinion, Deck, I like boneless wings. What do you got?
Hot wings, they're going in there, no question. Probably the 1-1. I think I got to throw salt and pepper in there as well. Probably the 1-2. For me, lemon pepper, because one time in an interview, Lil Baby said he liked them, and I was like, I'm going to start eating those. So lemon pepper.
Where did he get them from?
He gets them from like a really specific strip mall in Atlanta. Never been. Obviously.
Oh, it's a strip mall?
Yeah.
I thought it was a strip club.
No, strip mall. Yeah. He did an interview about it. I think it was one of his like GQ 10 essentials. It's funny, like Connor McDavid's out there listening to every sponsor under the sun, and Lil Baby's just like, yeah, I like these lemon pepper wings. And then my 4th one would probably be like any place that kind of does like the Thai, the Thai chicken bites.
Yeah.
Anyone who does like that Thai sauce on a wing, I generally like.
Can we open this one up to Mackenzie as well? It is a really great topic.
And Sparky said garlic parm. You can't be mad at that pick either.
I don't know, Mackenzie.
No,
Go
that's
ahead.
okay. Honey garlic, like a little. I love a saucy wing, and
I'm a dry rub guy too. That's important.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Except for hot wings.
Yeah,
and the Thai
hot wings too. I also love a boneless wing, like BP's honey garlic boneless wings with their ranch. Unreal.
And
so good.
Blue cheese.
No,
I'm not a blue cheese. I'm not a blue cheese fan.
No dice.
Also, like Brewhouse, they always have the specialty flavors every month, and it's like a Parmesan aioli one or something. It was very good when I was doing like Thursday night football with a different place before. Yeah.
I think I like the places that do the specialty wing. Like OTR will do that as well on the rocks. Has some good ones.
A dill pickle wing also. Very good.
Dill pickle.
Very good. Yeah.
Tex-Mex at Don Cherry's back in the day from Gary and 1010 Ken. That's how you know they're good. I'm curious what that would have been like. I went there once. not too bad. But people love them. Yeah, Sparky had garlic parm. I'm glad we just haven't got the feedback about the boneless wings, because I will go to bat for boneless wings. I think they're terrific. Are they chicken nuggets? Yeah, essentially, yeah. So I get that as well. Buffalo Ranch blue cheese, best ever from Darren B. No, see, I'm a ranch guy. Blue cheese, maybe I haven't given a fair chance. I'm like you for the most part, though, Deck. Like, too saucy, especially if they're hot wings. I can't handle hot wings. Like, my nose would be running, my hands would be messy, it'd be all over my face. It wouldn't be a good situation. So I probably stay away from those ones. But shout out to those of you who can handle the hot stuff and like do those hot wing challenges. You guys are built different. Are you like that, Deck? Like, do you want like sign a waiver before you can have them, or is it just like hot wings?
I want to enjoy what I'm eating.
Okay.
I don't want this to be a food challenge or an event or like the restaurant's going to come take a video of me eating them. I just want to sit there and enjoy my wings and watch the game.
And
that's another reason I'm dry rub over sauce, generally speaking, because sauce gets a little bit too messy. Next thing you know, the hottest girl you've ever seen in your life walks by your table and you've got sauce all over your face. And you're like, well, this is embarrassing. So I keep it demure.
One of the first times I went for wings, the guy I went with got hot wings, and he essentially said, don't look at me. Don't talk to me. I'm going to eat these wings. I'm going to get up and go wash my face and we'll move on. Like, don't even look at me.
Okay, really quickly, I do have to add one. My mom just texted me because she's listening. My stepdad makes these Cheeto wings for the Super Bowl, and they're flaming hot Cheetos. They're very good. He like crushes them up and then rolls them.
I could get into
very good, especially blue cheese or ranch with those is unreal.
Air fryer?
So, no, he like puts them in the oven, like makes them all on his own, all homemade.
Would he be willing to bring some in?
For sure.
Because that does sound quite good.
Maybe next time I go home, I'll put in a special request and then bring some back.
Is it the only flaming hot?
I think he could do normal.
I love the idea that we're going to get to try these novelty wings after like an hour drive, steaming car from Camrose.
It's an hour. That's not even that long.
You think your food on Skip the Dishes isn't sitting out for an hour, Deck? But it does have to be right from the oven, right to the heat bag, and we make it happen. Would you would not eat them, Deck, or would you just?
Oh, I'm trying.
Yeah, I mean,
I'd rather go to Mackenzie's house to try.
This is true. We all would. Have them fresh, like right out the oven. That's probably where they're at their pinnacle. But that being said, if they're made during the Super Bowl or like beforehand, pre-game festivities, you get through the first half, they're still sitting out, I'd still be eating them. So that is fair. Steven says, I second the Tex-Mex from Don Cherry's. Damn, I missed that bar. Actually, Steven, you third the Tex-Mex because a lot of people bringing that one up. Lance says, big fan of Hodiaki wings. That's my go-to flavor. Yeah. When I used to go for wings a whole lot, people were all over it. Trailer Park Ryan says, people who prefer wings with dry rubs are the same people that cut their pizza with a knife and fork. I could see how you could make that accusation.
This is one of those class divide things, like like Boca Juniors, River Plate. It's like blue collar is saucy wings, white collar is dry rub.
Yeah. Yes, quite. Give me my nice boneless dry rub wing. Fork and knife. You could do it with a fork and knife, and then you dip it in the ranch, and you're good to go. Keep those texts rolling here. 1-833-401-1440. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we will be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet. We've also got Derek Taylor, the voice of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, going to hop on at about 5:20, 5:25. And Cam Tate's 2-minute warning. But first, a Sports 1440 update with Declan Kruger, brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Mike and his team at Northgate care about the community. And for the rest of August, proceeds from every vehicle sold will go towards the Summerland wildfire victims. Only at NorthgateGM.com.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Leaderboard at the CPKC Women's Open down at the Royal Mayfair. Miyu Yamashita currently leading at 8 under. Nasa Hatakua at 7 under for second, and two Canadians tied for third at 5 under. Michelle Jing and Anna Huang. MLB results from earlier today saw the Toronto Blue Jays getting over the Rays 5-1. It was also the Cards over the Reds 10-9. Guardians over the Giants 5-2. Royals beating the A's 6-2. Brewers beating the Mariners 7-4. And the Braves blanking the White Sox 2-0. One game right now in the top of the first, Yankees and Orioles 0-0. Coming up in about an hour's time, we'll get the Nats and the Rangers. In the late game tonight at 6:10, we'll see the Angels and Astros. CFL Week 12 will kick off in about half an hour. Ottawa looking for their first win of the season as they head into Montreal to take on the 8-1 Alouettes. The line for that one currently minus 14.5 for the Montreal Alouettes. Some news from around the sporting world is Joe Pavelski has joined Wisconsin's men's hockey coaching staff after being a candidate for the Leafs job. The Bruins and Oilers will play 2 NHL games in Germany in the 27-28 season. Cologne, Germany for the Oilers, Leon Draisaitl's hometown. And James Harden has reached a 3-year, $97 million extension with the Cleveland Cavaliers. I'm Declan Kruger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Do you know why people love working at GS Construction? It's honest work. It's work that needs to be done. And we're really good at what we do. That's why GS Construction has been in business for over 50 years. We won't be wearing a top hat and tails, more like hard hat and boots, because we're heading underground to keep the water flowing in and out of your homes and businesses in Edmonton. GS Construction is currently looking for experienced pipe layers and top men. Visit gsconstruction.ca/careers today.
Pride of the North Side and a man of O-Town. Listen to the Tom Gazzola Show, weekday mornings from 7 to 11 on Edmonton's home for sports. Sports 1440. Be part of the conversation. 833-401-1440.
And now Action Electrical's testing team is on defense duty. They're the guardians of safety and compliance, a critical part of any lineup.
Precisely. They perform rigorous safety and code compliance testing for commercial operations. Think of them as the referees, ensuring everything is up to standard before disaster strikes.
Their preventative plays are legendary, spotting faults early. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Noodle, 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 noodle. Noodle, 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 noodle,
Troll low down to Oodle Noodle tonight because dine-in is open.
Stollery Children's Hospital Foundation Mighty Millions Lottery VIP deadline is midnight tomorrow. Get in now for the Power Play and $75K VIP prize. Imagine taking your seats as the Oilers hit the ice, hearing the roar of the crowd with every goal, every save, every moment all season long. Plus, score $75,000 and be in to win the $2.4 million grand prize show home in Cameron Heights. VIP deadline is midnight tomorrow. Change lives. Win big. Be mighty. Buy now at MightyMillionsLottery.com.
It's finally time to escape your four walls and see where your four wheels can take you. Sherwood Honda helps you head out on the road the way you want to, with the right vehicle, including freedom-seeking SUVs that give you the versatility to drive where, when, and how you want to. It sure would do some good to get out and stretch your horizons, and sure would be easier with Sherwood Honda.
Portions of this hour brought to you by 01 Athletic Care, Edmonton's multidisciplinary health clinic at West Edmonton Mall. Physicians, physio, massage, sports psychology, and more. One team, one roof, one plan. Book now at 01.ca. That's ZERONE.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show with guest host Connor Halley. This is Sports 1440.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Sports 1440 brought to you by Play Alberta Tonight's Lotto. It is the daily grand, and tomorrow, $55 million Lotto Max with 4 max millions. PlayAlberta.ca. Now, only a couple games getting going in the majors after 6 o'clock. We do have a little parlay special there as well. Boosted, the Jason Gregor Show special. You can check it out. PlayAlberta.ca. Remember, use your game sense. Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, Mackenzie McLennan with you here. Right now, we'll get to the spec report brought to you by GS Construction. They are hiring operators, pipe layers, and a superintendent. Work for a fantastic company that loves to promote from within with great benefits, and they're huge sports fans. Apply at gsconstruction.ca and search careers. Spec, good afternoon, good evening. How you doing today?
Oh, pretty fair. Connor, what's going on, man? I see you had some cheerleaders in today.
Yeah, 100%. I've been working in this industry for like 19 years and I've never seen it done before. So we decided to kind of change the game and switch things up a little bit. It's a lot more work than just showing up on game days back.
You think, eh? Good for you, man. That's maybe it'll become a trend. Who knows?
Yeah, well, hey, we're talking about different things here on the show, and yeah, it was really awesome. If you missed it, check it out. We had Sydney and Megan from the Elks cheer team on earlier, or just go watch them tomorrow at the game. 7:30 kickoff. Couldn't be a better way to start your weekend than go and watch them some CFL football. Now, Spec, we during 5 questions had talked about the Mount Rushmore of wing flavors, and we're getting a lot of pushback from people that like dry rub wings. This text from Mr. Lister says that's like eating a Snickers with a Snickers bar with a knife and fork, like George, saying that's what like eating pizza with a fork and knife. When it comes to the wing, do you prefer the dry rub or are you a sauce guy?
I'm a sauce guy for sure. Ryan Rashog eats wings with a knife and fork, but that just tells you really all you need to know about the guy. So what's the question then? What are the 3 best flavors or what?
4 best flavors of wings. That was the topic we went into.
4. We got to go to, I guess there's 4 on Mount Rushmore. Why did we all become about Mount Rushmore? Don't we have a Canadian equivalent to this? Like, I think we got to get more Canadian on this show. It's always everyone's Mount Rushmore now. But having said that, I'm a hot wings guy every day. It's got to be hot wings first. Teriyaki's okay. Don't mind teriyaki. I'm a honey garlic guy. And what would the 4th one be? See, this is where we have a problem. What would the 4th best wing be? I don't mind a dry rub wing, but it's coming in 4th, man.
Yeah. If I were to make this Canadian and say, what are your 3 sisters, like the mountain range in Canmore, then maybe you could just cut it off at that.
I like that. I like that, Steve.
Maybe that's what we'll go with now. Who are your 3 sisters of insert topic? Change the game here. Canadian Sports Radio. But yeah, I'm with you. It's a little bit overdone, but I love that we get into those topics with Declan on 5 questions. Spec, earlier on this show, we did have Ryan Holt on the program, of course, the voice of the Bakersfield Condors, and, had to get a little rundown on Isaac Howard and what the expectations might be. And, kind of similarly to what happened with Matthew Savoy, he went down there and averaged over a point a game and, kind of worked on games or elements of his game that wouldn't have been a strong suit when he was drafted. A lot of people still, though, believe that for him to play for this Edmonton Oilers team, he does need to get into the top 6. So when you look at Ike Howard going into year 2 as a pro, what are your expectations for him and where do you think he slots into the lineup?
Well, it's first of all, like you're pushing all your chips into one pile. If you're a young player and you say, the only way I'm going to stay on an NHL team is to be a top 6 player who gets a bunch of points. Like there's some guys who pull that off, but not many. So that's your first mistake is if you think I'm just going to bypass the part where I become a responsible player, a defensive player, a guy that can play a bunch of shifts and not get scored on, a guy who my coach trusts. If I'm just going to bypass all that and move to I'm a 50-point player guy, I mean, you can try that if you want, but I've seen a lot try and fail. So I hope that's not Ike Howard's plan, for one. It wasn't Matt Savoy's plan, right? Matt Savoy, what did he have in the first half of the season? Not a ton of points last year. I don't know the number, but it wasn't unbelievably flashy by any means. But he proved he could play, and he bought himself enough time to figure out the offensive side of the game. And that's I can't see Ike Howard going any other route. He's not that good that he's walking in and scoring 25 here. I mean, maybe if he does, I'll be the first guy to eat my words, but I don't see that player. And just because he's a smaller offensive guy, it doesn't mean he can't keep the puck out of his net. It doesn't mean he can't earn Mike Babcock's trust to get enough shifts to get to the point where he could figure out how, he did figure out how to be an excellent offensive player in the NCAA. Good. Then he figured out last year how to put up a bunch of points in the AHL, and that's hard. So I got a ton of respect for a guy that can do that. The AHL is a hard place. And now we're at the next level. And he's got to, it's going to take some time to figure out how to put up offensive numbers in the NHL. And during that time, you can't be minus 23, right? Or you're never going to get the time to figure out what you're trying to figure out. So that's where he's at in his career. Take the next step. The next step isn't just offensively. The next step is an all-around game that makes you a viable NHL player that your coach throws over the board on 24 shifts a night. That's what he's trying to be.
Yeah, absolutely. And Matthew Savoy could be the perfect example. It's right there in front of him. And just to look at it, Savoy had a goal and an assist in the month of October. He had 5 points in November, 6 points in December. January was 5 points. And then he had 6 points February, the shortened month, 7 points in March. And then another shorter month with the games amount of played 6 points. So, yeah, he kind of found his game, had a hat trick to wrap up the season against Vancouver last year. Yeah. We also talked a little bit about Josh Szymanski and kind of burst onto the scene a little bit last year. I think the Oilers scouting staff deserves some credit going over to Europe, finding guys that worth taking a shot on. When you look at that potential for him, fourth line center is where I saw him listed on Daily Faceoff, which I think is an okay spot. Would you be comfortable with him to start the season there? And if not, would you be looking at a PTO? Curtis Lazar was a guy we discussed yesterday on this show, like just a little depth as a 13th forward, just in case.
Well, I mean, if I think that's two different questions. Like, first of all, I want to protect Szymanski. I think we learned here in Edmonton with a guy like Broberg and Holloway that if you just continue to keep those guys on the outside looking in, we saw what happened. They both got disgruntled and went somewhere else, particularly Broberg. They didn't handle, and I'm talking right from Jay Woodcroft, who wouldn't put up with a single mistake from those guys, and he put them on the bench, to the GM who lost control of the situation and then ended up losing the players. So I think Szymanski's shown us enough. He's an NHL player, and looks like there's a nice player there. I think you have to, to me, I know it's win right now territory, but I think he's good enough to play for your team. He's good enough to be a fourth line center on this team, man. Absolutely. So I want to engage him. I want him to get some experience. I want to put him in an environment where he can get better, because right now he's just scratching the surface, Josh Szymanski. So don't lose that player is my point, right? I saw a piece Dave Staples was writing today. Oh, they're going to lose another player. And I get where he's coming from with that. And I think the Oilers have to not let that happen. As for a 13th forward, they got a lot of forwards, man. I don't think Curtis Lazar signed anywhere, has he?
No. He was Yaremchuk had him as a possibility as a PTO.
I love him. If I'm looking for a guy that's going to maybe play half the time or less, I love Curtis Lazar. If he could be my 13th, 14th forward, whatever he's going to be, all day long, it could be Curtis Lazar for sure.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, I hope he gets a contract somewhere, but if you bring him back, you would take that. We had a little pushback just when it came to foot speed, but that's just the way it goes. Mark Spector joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show.
Go through the league and find everybody's 13th forward and tell me how many of them you love. How many of them are lightning fast? How many of them are 6'4" and score 25 goals and have great speed and can fight and hit? Right? The guy doesn't exist. That's why he's a 13th forward.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a 13th forward for a reason. You got a guy who's responsible defensively, can play up and down your lineup if you needed him to, and for by all accounts, a great guy.
And accepting of the role. Like that's 3/4 of the job for me. I don't want a guy who has the skill to push people that my coach knows I can play Curtis Lazar any night if someone else is slacking. But I need a guy that can accept the fact that he's my 13th forward and he might only get 38 starts.
Yeah, and be happy to be there and keep that positive attitude, right? That's I think is
positive
crucial.
And help your team for sure. Help your young players as well, right? A guy like Curtis Lazar, he's sitting next to a Josh Szymanski. Curtis Lazar is incredibly positive, and he's an excellent teammate by all accounts, and he takes accountability. Like, I'll take Curtis Lazar on my team every day. And if I got a really good team, he's my 13th forward, that's fine. If he's my second line center, God bless him, but I probably don't have a good enough team, right?
Yeah, 100%. Mark Spector joining us here on the Gregor Show. I don't know if you saw that Athletic poll. They did a little thing with NHL fan base and then the public. And the Edmonton Oilers ranked 27th when it came to a lot of crucial things with the management. And I'll just give you the rundown from the fan base. Roster building grade was a C-. Cap management, D+. Draft and development, D+. Trading, D+. Free agency, C. Vision, C-. Total, a D+. That is 26th ranked in the NHL. from fan base. So, take it with a grain of salt. I kind of have two thoughts on this because I would say that, 26 other fan bases would say you've been to 2 of the last 3 Stanley Cup finals. That's pretty good. On the flip side, you have Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. You haven't won a cup yet. What do you think when you look at the management for the Edmonton Oilers the last few years?
They're not without their mistakes. I'm not telling you they're perfect. To me, you judge management based in the big picture, based solely on results. And this management team built a good enough team to win 3 rounds and 3 games, 3 rounds and 2 games over the 2 of the last 3 years. Last year is a bit of a write-off. Last year is not on management, okay, in my eyes. Last year is a room full of players that didn't bring it nearly enough. A room full of players that were tired, a room full of players that thought they'd turn it on later on and never got to that stage. Like I do not blame management for us. There's nothing management could have done if the roster was going to, be in the malaise that it was last year. So that's, to me, last year's got nothing to do with management. It is 100% in the players. I would say to you that they've lost to prior to last year, they'd lost out to the Stanley Cup winner, 4 years in a row.
Vegas, Panthers.
Yeah, they've been a highly, highly competitive team in the National Hockey League. It's not just because you had McDavid. Sure. Have they found the goalie? No, they haven't found the goalie. I get it. But I don't see how you could tell me that a team that's had the success. I mean, they've won the most playoff games of any team in the NHL, I believe, over the last 5 or 6 years. There's a stat there that I've forgotten since the playoffs, but I believe they lead the league in playoff victories over the last 5 years, if I'm not mistaken. And you're telling me that the management team that did that is 27th? I think anyone writing that should look in the mirror and decide, what am I writing here? What is the point of some stupid poll that takes the team that's won the most playoff games over a fairly long length of time and rates them 27th? Maybe that poll should just be hanging on a toilet roll somewhere, don't you think?
Well, I mean, I'm just trying to think. With that number 27, there's probably a couple of teams that haven't been to the playoffs in a few years. That would be technically higher than that.
Who's better? Calgary's better? Is Vancouver better? Like the Rangers better? Who's better? The Kings better? Come on. It's typical athletic clickbait, total garbage poll, if you ask me, but that's just my opinion.
Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet joining us here on the Gregor Show. Before we let you go, Spec, the Toronto Blue Jays, big 5-1 win today over the Rays. They continue to find ways to win series. And now, it doesn't get any easier with the New York Yankees, a team that is ahead of you in the standings. And you might not track down, but it is crucial just to maintain your spot in that race for the wild card spot.
Oh, come on. You just played Boston. You beat them 3 out of 4. Then you played the Yankees. You beat them 2 out of 3. Then you go to Tampa. You beat them 2 out of 3. Now you're going into New York again. I don't know. I'm not asking any more from a team. What are they supposed to sweep every series? I would say to you that team is going absolutely fantastic. To me, it's based on pitching and defense. They got another great start out of Bieber today and some killer defensive plays. And that's sure, you're going to have games where you score 22 runs like Milwaukee did the other night, or you're going to have games where someone goes off and hits 3 homers. Those are nice, but you can't count on them. But what you can count on is pitching and defense. And right now, the foundation of that Blue Jays team is exactly that. And that's a safe, repeatable, element of your club that you can count on coming every game. They got pitching and they got defense. And when the bats show up, it turns out they're a really hard team to beat, aren't they?
Absolutely. And Shane Bieber, 7 innings, 7 Ks, no walks. Gave him perfect opportunity and the bats showed up. It's good to see. Now, Spec, quickly before we let you go here, we're doing our little question of the day. We're giving away 2 tickets to the Elks game tomorrow night, taking on the Bombers. Since it's country night, we're asking favorite Western movie. So can I ask you, do you have a favorite Western movie of all time?
Yeah, I do. It would be, it might be a Clint Eastwood movie. I can never remember them all, because they all mix together for me.
He did a lot, didn't he?
Pale Rider was awesome. Pale Rider, right? I would say go back to Clint Eastwood. It's a Clint Eastwood Western for me. One of those old dusters where he's shooting everybody. That would be my favorite Western. What about you?
Well, I mean, a more modern one, Django for me, is one that's really good.
When that dog ate that guy up in Django, that was crazy. That grossed me out.
The opening scene got me. The quick shooter that was really good. But yeah, I mean, I had to watch The Good, the Bad, the Ugly for a little thing we were doing a couple
There
of
you
years
go.
ago.
Good, the Bad, the
Yeah,
Ugly. That's
just
one of the classics.
Thank you. For Gregor, we'll just throw Young Guns in there because I know that's one of his favorites. But yeah, we're giving away some Elks tickets. So if you want to go, text us your favorite Western movie. Spec, thanks for doing this today. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, Connor, sounds good.
There you go. Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet joining us as he does every day here on the Jason Gregor Show just after 5 o'clock. We will take a quick break. When we return, talk some Winnipeg Blue Bombers as they're in town set to take on the Elks tomorrow night. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, streaming on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and Twitch, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Attention Alberta construction pros. For over 50 years, Japa Equipment Rentals has been your go-to for top-notch equipment and stellar service. Whether you need rentals or expert maintenance, we've got you covered. Stop by our Edmonton or Calgary locations today.
1 in 3 Canadians aren't getting enough sleep. Let the Brick help you sleep better for less. Save 40% on the Sealy Crown Jewel Resort mattress. Get cheap starting at just $49. And buy one pillow, get the second one for just $10. Plus, take up to 55 months to pay with no interest and no money down. And with next day delivery in Edmonton, you can start sleeping better right away. Some conditions apply. OAC. See in store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Tap into the fun of Play Alberta's most popular casino games. From the fast-paced spins of Cash Eruption to the retro thrills of Sevens Wild, online excitement is always at your fingertips. Spin through your choice of popular slots or discover Alberta-exclusive games you won't find anywhere else. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Hey, hon, I'm getting expressions and images to frame my hockey card collection in the man cave.
Perfect. I'll come with you and bring our wedding photos.
For sports memorabilia and family treasures, think Expressions and Images, your local custom framer since 91. You name it, we frame it.
Tee up for a great day on the course and support the Stony Plain Eagles Senior Men's Hockey Club. It's the Stony Plain Eagles Golf Tournament. Gather your foursome and join the Eagles August 25th at the Links at Spruce Grove for a 2 p.m. shotgun start. Enjoy a fantastic afternoon of golf, great company, and friendly competition, all while supporting the Stony Plain Eagles. Get all the details and register today at stonyplaineagles.com.
Hey, Edmonton, thinking about your next SUV? Think Subaru. The Subaru Forester has earned an IIHS Top Safety Pick or higher for 20 years in a row. Add legendary Subaru symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and the 2026 JD Power Canada Best Residual Value Award among compact SUVs, and you've got an SUV that's built to protect today and hold its value tomorrow. This month, take advantage of loyalty rates as low as 0.99%. Come test drive the Forester at your local Subaru dealership today. Welcome to Uncommon.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is your #1 air conditioning company. So when you can't take living in oppressive heat any longer,
call Legacy. Call Legacy.
If your hot, sticky sheets keep you up all night,
call Legacy. Call Legacy.
If you've decided that you deserve to be cool and comfortable,
call Legacy. Call Legacy.
And with no payments, no interest for 1 year, it could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Lonely.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Get the Gregor special. Enjoy 20% off regular menu price order. Enter promo code Gregor at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app.
The Jason Gregor Show with guest host Connor Halley. This is Sports 1440.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Check out the sports section. You can see the Jason Gregor Show daily specials. Remember to make sure you use your game sense. We're going to talk little Winnipeg Blue Bombers here. It's Connor Halley, Doug Kruger, and Mackenzie McLennan sitting in for Jason Gregor. It is the CFL report brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Home with a no payment, no interest for 1 year on your furnace or AC. You can bundle them together and save more at legacyheating.ca, as we're going to talk little Winnipeg Blue Bombers as they are in town, set to take on the Elks tomorrow night, 7:30 kickoff down at Commonwealth. We're joined by the voice of the team from 686 CJOB, Derek Taylor. Derek, how was the trip in?
Unfortunately, early. I had a 7 a.m. flight leaving Winnipeg, and about 2 a.m. I realized I'm not getting any sleep. I'm not able to sleep. I was up all night grinding out pieces for the pregame show, sleeping on the plane, slobbering on the window of the plane. So if you're on a WestJet flight back to Winnipeg and there's slobber on the window, it was mine.
Anyone who might have been beside you probably had an interesting ride down there. So what did you do with your time in Edmonton? You should have come down to the mall and paid us a visit.
I had a little nap once I got to the hotel. I was truly blessed. And I don't know if today is in fact my birthday, but they let me into the hotel at 9 a.m. I couldn't believe that. So I sacked out for a couple hours. I walked around downtown, ran to some of the finer unhoused folks and people offering me drugs. So that was good. That's every city has a little color of its own like that. So that was good. And just working on the game tomorrow, because this is such a big game within the Bombers season. And I'm just really curious to see the Elks 9 weeks after we saw them the first time, just to see, how big a threat to win the Grey Cup they actually are.
Okay, well, next time you're in Edmonton early, come down to the mall. We'll take you for a Cinnabon or something, maybe get you on for a quick interview and then send you back downtown where, you can be offered drugs or whatever it might happen. That can happen.
I wish someone had offered me a Cinnabon. Is there a Cinnabon in this town that I didn't know of?
Right outside our studio. It's
Googling now. Mapping this right now.
It might be Cinzio, but same category. They're both unbelievable. So you mentioned a big game for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and we've talked about it, kind of the mushy middle of the CFL. They're not Ottawa, but they're probably not in the category of Edmonton, Saskatchewan, and the Montreal Alouettes right now. 2 straight losses to those divisional opponents in BC and Calgary, but Zach Collaros returned last week, 21 of 31 for 222 yards through the air. I imagine everybody a little bit more optimistic having him back from the neck injury. What were your thoughts for his play in his return and just kind of how it maybe lifted the rest of the team?
Yeah, it was fine, right? 222 and no turnovers is fine. The no turnovers, I think, is the big part. And he took an awful shot in the back off a free rush by Lucas Cormier, the Ottawa linebacker, that took Zach out of the game for 3 or 4 plays along the way. We thought, oh my goodness, he's gone for another stretch, but he was able to get back. And, it was fine. Brady Oliveira, the running back, was kind of the driver of that win with 154 yards from scrimmage and a season high in 8 catches. So it looked less turnover prone than the offense did when Drew Brown was filling in. So that was the big part. The problem is that game came against the Ottawa Red Blacks, and their schedule now includes 5 in the next 6 games. 5 of those are against the top 3 teams in the CFL. So from 0-9 to 7-3 to the Montreal Alouettes next week. Those are drastically different challenges.
Oh, absolutely. Quite the step up. But hey, you spin it, it's an opportunity. And I can tell you, I talked to Nick Anderson yesterday, Elks middle linebacker. He was on the show, and they were very excited for the opportunity to play a guy like Brady Oliveira, who's now second in the league in rushing yards, averaging 6 yards per carry. Do you think Brady and this Bombers offense kind of fired up to take on this Elks defense, who for the most part has been very good this season?
Well, I guarantee you they'll be protecting the heck out of the football, because Edmonton takes it away at this incredible rate so far this season, right? And I think the Bombers have to be. I think we're looking for any sort of inspiration to drive this Bombers offense higher. We had hopes at the beginning of the year. Oh, they went to the market and brought in Tommy Condell as the offensive coordinator. Hopefully this can change what the last 2 seasons have been. And it really hasn't, right? They were 7th in points scored under Buck Pierce in 2024, 7th in points scored under Jason Hogan last year, and 7th in offensive points scored so far this year. So we kind of get the feel they yam what they yam, right? Like, this is just kind of who they are and who they're going to be. And it's just unfortunate that teams like Calgary are, 35, 36, 37 points a game offensively. The Bombers, sure, they're scoring a couple more points than last year, but they're still not keeping pace with the rest of the league. And I mean, this is one of those games where just because of what the Elks have done this season, I just hope that the Elks defense doesn't outscore the Bombers offense, right? Because the Elks they laid it on Toronto last week defensively. So we've seen it a couple times. So this is going to be a real challenge for the Bombers. And I'm curious to see what they think the way through is. If it's Brady, who had 8 catches last week, okay. If it's Pokey Wilson, who could bounce back from no catches on 5 targets last week and a dropped touchdown, that would be great. But yeah, we're in Winnipeg. We kind of wonder if the Bombers have enough firepower to stick in games where teams could put up 30, 35.
Derek Taylor, the voice of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley sitting in. And I was going to say, you go back to the last time where that Elks defense looked a little bit shaky was the game against Montreal. And we know they have some elite talent there. But I look at these Winnipeg receivers, and although no one really running away with the receiving lead here, you got 3 guys who are very competitive, all 500-yard receiving with Wilson, Tim White, and Nick Dembski. And, the Elks defense, it looked a little susceptible through the air. It was deep shots downfield. Do you think that could be a plan of attack for them?
I think if you see Pokey Wilson, number 80, one-on-one on the outside, I think they're going to have to go for something like that. If you can get Nick Dembski from the slot on the other side of the field, isolated on a corner route, they're going to have to go for it. It's been a trouble spot in Zach Collaros' game kind of the last 3 years. This would be the 3rd year of going, his deep ball isn't the same as it was before. But they're going to need something like that because, I mean, these 10 and 12 play drives are so hard, and they have such a propensity to kick field goals on any 3rd down situation that they're honestly going to need these big strikes, and they haven't been coming very readily for the Bombers this season. So yeah, they would love to see it. They would love it if Edmonton would seed them a couple. I don't know if the Elks are up for giving away freebies tomorrow, however.
Yeah, they try not to do that for whatever reason. It hasn't really been part of their game plan. Taking a look here at the Winnipeg Blue Bombers as they're in town. One of the mainstays in Winnipeg, and Elks fans, of course, Eskimos fans, very familiar with Willie Jefferson, just continues to make plays. And then Jake Ceresna, another guy who, hey, maybe they want to get some revenge. How has that front been for the Bombers this season?
Phenomenal. When they brought in Ceresna, it was a real pivot for the Bombers because for the last, say, 7-8 years, they just go with first contract guys at defensive tackle. But this is a year where they said, you know what, Ceresna's interested in playing here. We're going to bring him in and see what he and Willie can do. Jordan Younger, the defensive coordinator, it's his 3rd season, and he's a guy who very clearly prioritizes coverage over getting after the passer. Right? Last season, there was a lot of lament from fans. Why are there so many 3-man fronts and 3-man rushes? Why don't you try to sack the quarterback? That seems like something football teams should do. Well, they're able to now get to the quarterback. They're not, last with a bullet in the CFL in sacks anymore because Jake, because Willie, because it then has this ripple effect to the other guys along the line. David Reese can make plays. Cam Lawson can make plays. Michael Fletcher can make plays and hopefully not hit quarterbacks in the head as he took a fine this past week. It's been a fantastic duo watching those two work together. And honestly, maybe the biggest story of Winnipeg's season has been Willie Jefferson's revitalization in these 4-man fronts with Ceresna. Because Willie's not a guy who has had a ton of sacks in recent years. He's been the pass knockdown king of the CFL. But this year, 6 sacks has been remarkable. He's had multiple game run of sacks, and you go, wow, this is really different. He's playing more snaps than he has in past seasons as well. So yeah, at 35, this has been a real revitalization for Willie Jefferson. And whether it's just kind of the slight change that Jordan Younger has up front or what it is, but Willie's been the kind of star player we were used to seeing, 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago.
Yeah, it's been great to see. And for Jake Ceresna, there was a play last year where I thought he broke his leg. I thought his season was over. And I think he ended up missing just 1 week. So to see that resurgence and especially the success he had, I believe it was week 1 where he just went off, really cool to see. Now, these two teams did meet before. I think it was the end of June, and Edmonton kind of escaped with a narrow victory. And the kicker was maybe the GOAT for The Bombers. Sergio Castillo, he went 1 for 3 in that game. He was beloved with his time in Edmonton. Just a great guy. But how has he been down the stretch? Because if it is a close game, it could come down to his foot.
Yeah, Sergio's been is at the moment the number one kicker in the CFL. If you add in the distance at which he's been asked to make kicks, and I have a stat not surprising I have a stat for it, but if you assess the distance of kicks as well, Sergio at the moment is the number one kicker in the CFL. He's now tied the CFL record for 50-plus yard field goals in a career. He hit his 40th last week. And he's a guy, there was a point where the Bombers got stopped on second down, and it was going to be a 61-yard attempt, and Sergio starts running on the field only to get called back. His confidence is at an all-time high. He's hitting the ball beautifully. His kickoffs are fantastic. He's really flowing right now. So, yeah, the struggles he had in that game and the struggles he had early in the season are kind of long gone, to the point where we don't really talk about Sergio much, which is kind of the perfect spot for a kicker, right? He made all his kicks. We don't have to mention him, and we move on to the next one.
Yeah, when he was in Edmonton, we didn't have much to talk about. The team wasn't very good. And whenever we would try to get a player on, he would be the guy just because he was so entertaining. And we'd get his recommendations for restaurants around town. So glad to see that he's bouncing back. And if you do need a spot, he's the guy to talk to because he's familiar with some great locations in our city. Derek, thanks so much for doing this today. We appreciate it, and have a great call tomorrow.
Thanks for having me.
There you go. Derek Taylor, the voice of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley sitting in. And I'm curious, someone not from our city. You're here early in the morning. Nice the hotel lets you in. But what would you be doing? There's a lot of things to see here. I should have came down to the mall. We could have taken care of them. Could have had a nice afternoon. We'll take a break here. When we come back, we've got Cam Tate's 2-minute warning. And also we will pick a winner for our tickets to the upcoming Elks game. The question today, since it's country night tomorrow, that is the theme, what's your favorite Western movie? We'll do this again tomorrow. So if you don't win today, you've got another chance. But let us know, 1-833-401-1440. It is the Jason Gregor Show, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Albertans love to debate the best way to enjoy summer sports.
No. Playing on the field is the best, man.
No way. Watching from the sidelines, way more relaxing.
You're both crazy. Checking out the game from the bro zone is where it's at.
But there's one thing every sports fan agrees on.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky.
Wherever you catch the action, load up on Alberta's best beef jerky.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky. Because you can't have summer fun with salad. Only available in Leduc.
Performance by Action Electrical today. Their projects team kicked things off, designing and building with unmatched skill.
Then the service team swoops in for those crucial repairs and maintenance. And don't forget the testing team, ensuring everything's safe and sound before the solar team scores with sustainable energy.
A complete team effort. Have Action Electrical bring home a win for you and your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Not sure what wheels fit your vehicle? Evolve Wheels and Tires gives you honest advice from enthusiasts who know fitment inside and out. Whether it's your truck, SUV, or sports car, they have you covered. Evolve Wheels and Tires, Edmonton's premium wheel specialists. Evolve your ride. Evolve your experience.
The Chicken Parmy Burger. McExtreme pulled pork, garlic and black pepper chicken McNuggets, cheesy bacon McFlavor fries, and the Stroop Waffle McFlurry. You've scrolled them. You've screenshotted them. You've never been able to order them until now. This is the McDonald's World Menu Heist. The most wanted menu items taken from around the world, now in Canada. Get them while you can. For a limited time only at participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
You see it? Fusion Promo Marketing can make it. Fusion makes high-quality, memorable promotional products for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. From vision to reality, get noticed and remembered. Fusion with a Z. Promomarketing.ca.
Hey, Gary, is that your dad?
No, this is Evan, the new sales rep I hired.
Oh.
First impressions matter, but when hair loss takes over, it can feel like you're not being seen for the maverick you truly are. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we know that hair loss is more than just a cosmetic issue. It's personal. Let's discuss all the cutting-edge options available so you can make a great impression every time.
Book a free consultation today at drvancelliot.com.
Stollery Children's Hospital Foundation Mighty Millions Lottery VIP deadline is midnight tomorrow. Get in now for the Power Play and $75K VIP prize. Imagine taking your seat as the Oilers hit the ice, hearing the roar of the crowd with every goal, every save, every moment all season long. Plus, score $75,000 and be in to win the $2.4 million grand prize show home in Cameron Heights. VIP deadline is midnight tomorrow. Change lives. Win big. Be mighty. Buy now at MightyMillionsLottery.com.
www.cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show with guest host Connor Halley. This is Sports 1440.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Welcome back to the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440. Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, Mackenzie McLennan with you here. Show brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. The Daily Grand tonight, tomorrow, Lotto Max 55 mil plus 4 Max Millions. You can get your ticket at PlayAlberta.ca. Big thank you to all of you guys for texting in your favorite Western movie. We all are going to pick a winner. I might have to pass it on to Mackenzie or Declan. Whoever you guys wants to pick a winner. Maybe you can reply to them and let them know they won. We just need your full name and email, and then we'll send you those 2 tickets. But we appreciate it. A lot of text rolling in here, and thank you guys for texting in and tuning in. It is greatly appreciated. If you are watching on YouTube, hit that thumbs up button as well. Right now, we're going to quickly get to the stats of the day, brought to you by All-Star Construction. Founded in 2009, they continue to grow. They're hiring general laborers, hydrovac operator, backhoe operator, gas piping technician, and more. Go to Indeed.com and search All-Star Construction. And JC Abbott, shout out to the article. Some advanced stats from 3 Down Nation passed along to me by our friend Rick Walters, who joins us every Monday on the show. Just from the CFL, some numbers to look at here when you talk about a variety of topics. The lowest average time to throw. So we're talking quarterback from snap to the time they release the ball. Minimum 50 attempts. It is Trevor Harris. 2.12 seconds. When you look at other quarterbacks around the CFL, Bo Levi Mitchell, 2.4. Harrison Frost with Hamilton, 2.41. In Winnipeg, Drew Brown is 2.43, and Cody Fajardo, 2.45. So you just think about how fast they have to make that throw, how quickly you have to know what is happening with every player on the field, where your receiver is running, how things change. Plus, you have dudes running at you trying to take your head off. Not a whole lot of time. When you look at big-time throws, I wonder if you could guess who it might be, because this guy, he makes big-time throws, but sometimes they get intercepted. It is Chad Kelly with the Toronto Argonauts, 21 on the season. Trevor Harris, second at 15. Cody Fajardo, a little further down, he has 12 on the season. So he is making big plays, not at the clip that Chad Kelly might be, but also he's not turning the ball over, which I think would be a little bit more important. When you look at most turnover plays this season at the quarterback position, wild to think, Vernon Adams, 21. He went ridiculous. He did not throw interceptions for a long time, but with that, passes were being broken up. Plays that could have been intercepted. So despite not throwing interceptions for a long period in the CFL season, there are balls that could have been, is what we're learning from the advanced stats here. If you look at most contested catches, so think me and Declan, I'm running a post route. He's playing really good coverage, but I come down with it. We were actually at a football game once, an Elks game, and they threw a little football in our direction, and I palmed it right in front of him. Think that. Aiden Everhart of the Ottawa Redblacks has the most, 15. Justin McInnes with BC, 11. When you think of Edmonton Elks, and this probably isn't a surprise because this guy goes across the middle to get the football, TJ Luther has 10. Most drop passes. Austin Mack, 8. Sean McInnes, 6. Keon Julian Grant, 5. So there, we'll just move on because Austin Mack's been crushing it for the Elks. It's just a number. Most forced missed tackles. Probably no surprise here. Justin Rankin, 70. Who's next closest? Dedrick Mills with 47. That is pretty incredible and just shows you that when Justin Rankin gets the ball, he makes things happen. making guys miss, doing it at an incredible rate. And that just re-emphasizes why everyone says, put the ball in his hand. He makes things happen. Most pressures allowed, probably not a great one. Brandon Kemp of the Toronto Argonauts. When it comes to the Edmonton Elks, no one makes the top 5. How nice is that? Lowest pressure percentage. This is a good thing. Number 1, David Beard of the Edmonton Elks, 0.8%. That means 99.2%. Mr. Beard is locking it down. Highest run impact run percentage. Tristan Nakani with the Stampeders at 14.1. These are really cool stats. Advanced stats in football. I might be into it after the fact. Not saying it's going to happen going forward, but I think I like these ones. Most defensive stops, Darius Pickett of the Toronto Argonauts. When you talk about missed tackles, a number you don't want to be there, Antoine Brooks Jr. of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Joel Devonko second, 16. He's flying all over the field. That's not a great stat, but he's having a very good year for the Edmonton Elks. So pretty good numbers here. Most passing touchdowns allowed, Dietrich Nichols of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Maybe you want to check that out. Again, you go to the Edmonton Elks, nobody cracking the top 5. So that defense, maybe not a huge surprise. Stats of the day brought to you by All Star Construction. You can check out that entire article at 3downnation.com as well. Some really good stuff there. Now, I'm not sure, Deck, do we have Cam Tate's 2-minute warning? I got an email saying it should be there. So, okay, let's get to it. Cam Tate's 2-minute warning brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where the rates never change. No OT charges, furnace repair and maintenance. Do it now with legacyheating.ca. Here is Cam Tate's 2-minute warning.
It's a big week in Edmonton. The CPKC Women's Open is underway at Royal Mayfair, drawing up to 80,000 fans over 4 days, one of the city's largest single sporting events. Still, that's a fraction of K-Days, which pulled in 783,000 people this summer. On the course, 156 golfers are chasing a $2.75 million purse, including 6 of the world's top 10, led by Melly Korda, and 15 Canadians, among them defending champion Brooke Henderson. That purse trails the men's RBC Canadian Open, worth $9.8 million this year. But for women's golf, it's still one of the tour's biggest stops. Reports say the bugs out there Thursday were so thick, one foursome played the whole back 9 using their putters as fly swatters. Par for the course? More like pair for the course, because everybody had a buddy slapping their neck on every hole. One member reportedly yelled, 4, and got bitten 4 times before the ball even landed. Japan's Miyu Yamashita didn't just play the opening round of the CPKC Women's Open. She rewrote history, carding a blistering 8 under 62, the lowest pro tournament score ever recorded at the 104-year-old club. Right on her heels, Canadian teenagers Anna Huang and Michelle Xing put on a show for the home crowd, both firing fantastic 5 under 65s. Defending champ Brooke Henderson is right in the hunt too, grinding through the afternoon wave. Round 2 tomorrow. 2-minute warning. Sports, 1440.
Should be a very fun event in our city over the weekend. If you're able to make it down, enjoy the weather, enjoy the great golf. Again, I don't know how people stand there on those fairways, though. I would just be freaking out, thinking I'm going to get smoked in the head. But with the professionals, that's unlikely to happen. Cam Tate's 2-minute warning every day here on the Jason Gregor Show. Thank you, Tater, for sending that one in. We did pick a winner of our contest. Scott is going to be going to the game tomorrow. Scott, if you're listening, you said Unforgiven. Please send us your email. We'll make sure we get those tickets to you ASAP. Unforgiven, the 1992 Western film starring Clint Eastwood, Gene Hackman, Morgan Freeman, Richard Harris, Anna Thompson, and Francis Fisher. That's another one we did watch, actually. That was a good one. Maybe not my favorite Gene Hackman movie, though. I think if I was to go back and watch another Gene Hackman movie, I would watch Mississippi Burning. Have you seen that one, Declan?
That movie.
That's a good movie, hey?
Willem Dafoe, man. Can't go wrong.
And he would have been quite young in that, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Frances McDormand also.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of young, like ish compared to when we know her. Gene
and
Hackman.
Michael Rooker
Yeah.
He just always kind of looks like he could be the bad guy.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if he's ever played a good guy in movies or TV.
Maybe Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't actually know.
Was he in that?
He was the blue guy.
That means nothing to me.
Have you seen the movie?
No.
Okay. I think I've only seen the one.
Groot?
That's
a character, right?
Yeah. Vin Diesel.
Oh.
Is Groot. Dave Bautista, Chris Pratt. Yondu Udanta is his name in that movie. Bradley Cooper, Sean Gunn. What a cast. Karen Gillan. Anyways, congratulations to Scott. If you want to just send in that information, we'll send you some tickets. Easy peasy. Tomorrow we'll do it again. We'll make it country themed. If you've been listening to the show, you probably know what I'm going to ask. We'll make it very simple. And if you don't win tickets, but you want to go to the game, text me 1-833-414-1440. I'll hook you up with my guy. We can get you some tickets. You'll have to pay for them. Thank you to all our guests today. Really appreciate everyone who joined us on the show. Dalton Wasserman looking around the NFL. We had David Owens from Sherbrooke Liquor. Sydney and Megan from the Double E Cheer team were in studio. We had Colin Livingston in studio. Ryan Holt, voice of the Condors. Speck, Derek Taylor, and Cam Tate. It was a lot of fun. Big thank you to Declan and Mackenzie for keeping us on track here as well. Coming up next, it is Fox Sports Radio. Live local coverage resumes tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. with the Tom Gazzola Show. Brandon Douglas will be your guest host. Let's get to a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Sean Cunningham of Remax Real Estate. Get the home team advantage for your next move in the Edmonton area. If you're thinking about buying or selling a home, call or text Sean directly at 780-265-0165. Here is Declan Kruger.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
CTKC Women's Open down at the Mayfair. Results from earlier today. Top of the leaderboard, we have Mio Yamashita at 8 under, Nasa Hataoka second at 7 under, and two Canadians tied for third at 5 under, Michelle Jing and Anna Huang. MLB action right now, just the one game. Yankees lead the Orioles 3-0 in the middle of the third. Coming up in about 10 minutes, we'll see the Nats and Rangers, and in 15 minutes, we'll see the Angels and the Astros. Blue Jays did win earlier today, 5-1 against the Tampa Rays. Other scores around the league include the Cards over the Reds, 10-9, Guardians over the Giants, 5-2, Royals over the A's, 6-2, Brewers beating the Mariners, 7-4, and the White Sox getting blanked by the Braves, 2-0. CFL action right now, the winless Ottawa Redblacks currently lead the 8-1 Montreal Alouettes 7-0 with 6:50 to go in the first quarter. And from around the sporting world, defending U.S. Open champion Carlos Alcaraz set to return from a 4-month wrist injury, while Aaron Donald continues his workouts with the LA Rams. And Declan Kruger, this has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, a Stingray Radio.